Good morning. In accordance with Section 45, oh, yes, because, okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. Okay, good morning again. In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment consider application for variances from the provision of the zoning that applies to property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to survey property to create new lots. I also like to acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anasazi, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. It's now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississauga of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearing are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submission in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform. The meeting are also streamed on City of Toronto Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connected with their computer, tablet, smartphone, or telephone, and have the options of participating via video or audio only. The virtual participants will automatically be muted on entry. When your item is called, you will be muted by the moderator, one person at a time. We ask you that also mute your devices until you are called to speak. And now I'd like to also introduce myself. My name is Yim Chan. I will be chairing today's meeting. And our panel sitting opposite to me is Mr. Sia Bayet and also Mr. Jordan Allison. And we will be the members of the panel today. And now I would like to read the procedure of the hearing. Those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to panelists when the item is being held. During this time, your camera will be enabled and you will only be visible during your 5 minutes speaking time. At all times, your video will be disabled and you will be restated as an attendee. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. Those participating through WebEx are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelist control during a video appearance. The host will remove you from the panelist role if you fail to respect this instruction. How to receive a decision of the committee. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address because the Committee of Adjustment and the Toronto Local Appeal Board, TLAB, will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the decision of committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Board or, in some limited circumstances, to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons and public bodies as those terms defined in the Planning Act are permitted to appeal decision for the Committee of Adjustment appeal. appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. Now, the hearing procedure is I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. When making your submission, when an application is not contested, the agent or the applicant may proceed with the presentation if desired. When the committee does not require presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions or take the matter into committee for decision. Each speaker, including the applicant or agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. And I will comment when you're reaching your 5 minutes. Any presentation and other material you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept material at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and make a presentation to the committee on the application. Please note the committee may not entertain revisions to proposal at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the application are informed of their changes. And then individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we will call on speakers in the hearing room here and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they finish their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has opportunity to rebut only those issues were raised by their speaker. That will mark the end of the discussion, and the application will then be taken into committee for decision. That is the procedure, and then we'll see the minutes to confirm.
Good morning, Madam Chair and panel members. Yes, so the minutes from the March 20th, 2024 Panel A minutes are ready for adoption. So if I can get a motion.
Yes, Mr. Byett, yeah. And second, Mr. Addison, second. All in favor? Yes, adopted. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, I don't see any files that need to be closed this morning.
And also, we, in that case also, we will be piloting an operation change at our meeting this morning.
Actually, through you, Madam Chair, just a couple of things. Are
Oh,
there
we still have
any conflict of
interest?
interest for this
Not-
morning's items?
Staff and member, no? Yeah.
And through you, Madam Chair, I do need a motion that the
Okay.
Toronto and East York panel of the Committee of Adjustment does not excuse any absences from this April 3rd, 2024 Committee of Adjustment meeting, and I just need a motion on that.
Yeah, Mr. Addison, second. All in favor? Yeah. Motion to
And through you,
confirm.
Madam Chair, we'd like to deal there is one deferral request, item number 15, 1 FRYBROOK Road.
Okay.
We do have David Bronscale online, and we have received confirmation from council of the owners at 115 Dunvegan that they are supporting the deferral
deferral.
request.
Okay.
So we can unmute,
Mr. Bonsker?
yes, at this time.
Yeah. Okay. Hello?
Morning, Madam Chair.
Yes, can you just tell us the reason, and then, yeah, we can go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As staff noted, I'm here as agent for 1 FRYBROOK, the owner applicant for 1 FRYBROOK. The adjacent landowner to the south is 115 Dunvegan. They're immediately to the south. We became aware that they had some concerns. We did connect with them. I connected with their council yesterday, and we had very productive, without prejudice, but a very productive discussion. And we indicated to them that we would prefer to continue those discussions rather than proceeding with a contested hearing today. And we will do that. And I gave them my commitment that I would seek a deferral today. We wrote to staff yesterday, and Mr. Siriano, on behalf of the landowner to the south, confirmed their consent. And so, Madam Chair, that's the reason. We'd prefer to continue those discussions rather than have a contested hearing in front of you today.
Yes, that's a good reason. So do we have a motion? Mr. Bayet have a motion. Yes, to defer. Second, Mr. Addison, all in favor for deferral? Yeah, all in favor for deferral. Thank you. Unanimous. Then it's deferred. Item 15, FRYBROOK Road. Yeah. Okay. Any other items? Okay. Then we will be piloting an operation change for our hearing this morning. We will now begin with the review of the agenda. And to ensure a fair, timely hearing, I will review the agenda to determine which applications can be dealt with immediately and which applications have individuals other than the applicant or agent that wish to address the committee. And I will call each item in order listed on the agenda and will ask for individuals to identify themselves. If there are people in interest, the matter will be held until non-contested applications have been dealt with. And if there are no people in interest, the item will be called in order of the agenda for non-contested application. So, yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair. Sorry, through you, Madam Chair. We'll start with item number 164 Alvin Avenue. Members, do you need a presentation from the agent?
No.
See none? Okay, so then we can unmute the agent at this time.
Hi, good morning.
Yes.
Would you like me to present? Sorry.
So through you, Madam Chair, we'll introduce the item, and then if you have questions of the agent, you can ask them at that time.
Oh, okay, so that's the procedure. Okay, let me bring the item. Okay, so, agenda. Okay, item number 164 Alvin Avenue. This application is to alter the existing 2.5-story detached dwelling by constructing a 3rd-story east side dormer. The existing 1-story auxiliary building, which is a garage in the rear yard, will be maintained and unaltered. They only asking for one variance. Yeah. And also on this file, we receive a copy of survey, site plan, floor plan, and elevations, section detail, and 4 photographs of trees and decisions affecting the subject property, and an arborist report prepared by the agent. So is there any?
Through you, Madam Chair, there's no registered speakers. We
So-
do have the agent online.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah,
questions?
good morning.
Yeah. We have studied all your material, and then I checked with the panel. They do not require a presentation from you, or they might have questions. There are no questions either. So do you have something you like to address the panel before we move it into discussion and for decision?
I would just like to add, as you have mentioned, you've had the time to review the material.
Yes.
That we have presented. I would like to say that this proposal, I believe, does maintain the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw as the dwelling remains a single-family residence.
Yeah.
I also believe this modification to the existing dwelling to be desirable. In this case, the 2 bathrooms on the 2nd floor are both en suite, and there's currently no bathroom servicing the 2 bedrooms on the 3rd floor. Lastly, this variance is minor in nature. The difference between the existing floor area and the proposed floor area is 3 square meters, as noted on slide A100 in the site stats. And then it is, in my view, this proposal does meet the 4 tests of a variance, I would strongly recommend that the committee approve this application. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, that, we are in committee now. If you have a motion, and then give us your reasons. Yeah. Okay,
Sorry,
Mr.
sorry,
Fire.
through you, Madam Chair. Could the agent identify his name and address?
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, please.
Apologies. My name is Jeffrey Delane. I'm the homeowner. My home address, of course, is 64 ALVIN Avenue.
Okay. Got it. Oh, all right, so we are back in the committee, yes.
So, thank you, Madam Chair. I think this is an extremely straightforward application. I don't see any issues with it, so I'd like to move a motion to approve without any conditions.
Yes, a second. Mr. Allison, second. All in favor to approve with no conditions? Unanimously approved with no conditions.
Through you, Madam Chair, we can move on to item number 2, 120 Rosemount Avenue. We don't have any registered speakers for this item. Members, do you need a presentation from the agent? See none?
Yes, and for this application, the purpose is to alter the existing 2-story detached building by constructing a 3rd-story addition. They are seeking 3 variances. And on this file, we receive a survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 6 photographs of trees, a cover letter from the agent, and also a staff report community planning. And can we have the agent, please? Yes.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair, we've unmuted the agent.
Hello, it's Michael Lafreniere here, the architect on the project from 951 Ossington. I don't know if you need a full presentation. The only thing I would say, so the existing 3rd floor has a substandard ceiling height. So what we're really doing here is raising up the ceiling in order to make the existing 3rd floor useful as a new 3-bedroom family-sized apartment. It's a pretty soft density for the neighborhood. I think probably why no one's really objecting too much is it is really a minor update to an existing small apartment building. The one thing I just wanted to address in the community planning notice, and it's not really clear, is that the second, if you go down a plan, the second staircase, the second emergency exit to the north, if you go to the 1st or 2nd floor, you can see it. It's a small. It doesn't really pass current building codes, so I don't know if that staircase has to get expanded or if they're going to let us sprinkler it. That's a discussion with buildings for later on. But the community planning asked us to be tied to plans, and I think we're fine to be tied to the roof plan, but because there's that question about the update of that small staircase there, I'd prefer not to be tied to interior plans, because we may need to change it depending on how that goes through with the building department.
But the staff report is quite specific, but I think that they actually also leave room for you to work with them to get their satisfaction. So I maybe later on you can explain and why you in order to comply with building code, you have
No problem. I just want to make sure we don't get locked to plans for the whole building. Obviously, the plans for the roof plan is fine. I don't know the procedure.
Yes. I think that they probably leave some room for you to work with them. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, any questions first? There's no. We have no more questions for you. So we are in discussion now for this. Yeah, for decision. Okay, Mr. Allison, please. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have any issues or concerns with this one. I think it's a good form of intensification. In terms of minor, typically, when I see a variance for 12 meters, I generally am a little bit concerned. However, I think the height in this case is substantially mitigated by the steep pitch, which in turn keeps those side main walls down, including but not limited to the additional massing that is above and beyond what the bylaw permits in terms of depth. So for those reasons, I'm happy to bring a motion to approve the subject application with a condition noted in the staff report provided by Community Planning to tie the drawings substantially in accordance with And I believe that the drawings noted in the community planning report only address the roof plan and the elevation, so I think it addresses the applicant's concern that they would be able to make some interior alterations should they need to do that to meet the building code requirement.
Yes, sure, yes. Mr. Bayer, second. All in favor with the planning condition? I approve unanimously, yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, we can move on to item number 393 Rivercrest Road. We do not have any registered speakers for this item. Members, do you need a presentation from the agent? See none?
See none. Okay, just let me bring this up, sorry. Item number 3, the purpose for this application is to alter the existing 2.5-story detached dwelling by constructing a rear third floor balcony that is above the rear second-story addition, and they are seeking for 2 variances. Here we also receive a survey site plan, floor plans, and elevation, 2 photographs of trees, and decision affecting the subject property and building permit application site plan. And can we have the agent, please?
We've unmuted the agent.
Smith Wood Drive, and I'm the representative for the application in front of you.
Yeah. Can you tell us your address too, yeah, please? For the record.
20 Smithwood Drive in Etobicoke.
Yes, and I want to check with the panel whether they require a presentation from you. No, they do not require representations. Do you have questions? Yeah, we do have a questions for you.
Okay.
Good morning. Just going to ask about the third floor balcony, the
Yes.
proposed balcony. On drawing A8, I don't note that there's any privacy screening. So I was wondering if we could have a condition that the privacy screening be provided both on the south and north sides.
Yes, that's fine.
Good, thank you.
South and north edges of the rear third floor balcony.
Correct.
Yes, that would be the 2 sides, correct? Yes, north and south, yes.
So with the condition, we have a second for to the motion? Or? Oh, no.
I'm happy to second. I mean, I question whether or not it was necessary in this case, but it seeing as the applicant has no issue.
Oh,
with
you mean the privacy screen?
Yeah, just given that.
The privacy screen is not a non-issue for us.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay.
I'm happy to second.
Yeah, so, with the privacy condition, all in favor to unanimously approve with privacy screen?
Through you, Madam Chair, we will hold item number 4, 36 Playerton Boulevard. There will be some presentation about the front yard parking. We can move on to item number 5, 326 Warren Road. We
Okay.
don't have any registered speakers. Do the members need a presentation from the applicant?
No.
See none?
Okay, so the purpose for this application is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling with an above-grade basement, a front porch, and a front 2-car integral garage, and a rear second-story deck with stairs. They are seeking 6 variances. And on this item, we also receive a copy of survey site plan, floor plans and elevations, an arborist report and presentation material from the agent, and a staff report from transportation, and support letter from 32 PLAYTER Boulevard.
Through you, Madam Chair, we'll unmute the agent at this time.
Good morning. My name is Gary Chang, agent for the owner at 326 Warren Road.
Yes. Do you guys require a presentation or you have questions? Yeah, we do not require a presentation. We have studied all the material you have submitted. So, but we do have questions. Let's go.
Just a quick one. I was just looking at, I'm just trying to see the drawing. Your proposed site plan A1.2. Your driveway indicates that it's going to be an asphalt driveway?
That's correct.
Yeah. I was just wondering if we could add a condition that whatever driveway surface you use, that it be permeable?
Yep, absolutely.
Good, thank you.
A permeable material, okay. Any other question, please? Mr. Allison, please, go ahead.
I'm just hoping, I mean, without a full presentation, I just was hoping the applicant might say a few words just concerning the length and depth.
Sure, yeah.
And I'll point that out sort of in relationship to the immediate neighbors on each side. Perhaps there's a little bit of precedent or anything that the applicant might be able to speak to.
Yes, absolutely. So I did prepare a presentation material. I didn't think the building depth was going to be too big of a concern, but I can absolutely address that.
May I interrupt a little bit? Actually, I'm also interested if you can also address the FSI. It seems that it's a bit high to me. If you can
Yes.
speak to that also. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll address the building depth first. I believe that is a little bit more easy to address. Actually, they're all easy to address. But if, I can have the presentation pulled up that was shared with. Yes, thank you very much. In regards to building depth, we're really pulling on the precedent of Warren Road being developed. If you can please scroll down the presentation to the, I guess, it would be the 4th page on the PDF. Yes, you can take big relevance to even just specifically along Warren Road. You can see the first house on the very left-hand side, that's 326. We do have other houses on the road at 316, 319, 309, where it does have a little bit more building depth, even in relation to the neighbors. We are drawing precedent on that to formulate this proposal and this design. In regards to the FSI, that would be, in my opinion, a nature of the current existing site condition. If the building section can be pulled up as part of our drawings, which is on actually not a building section, sorry, just an elevation A3.3 or A3.2, either of those exterior elevations will work. Yeah, thank you very much. As you can see, the grade for this property, it slopes quite steeply from the front to the rear, dropping roughly 4 feet. And it's because of the definition by zoning bylaw that we cannot define this as a basement just because I guess the center point of that basement level is higher than the established grade by half of whatever the difference is, which is why they are deeming this to be a first floor and not a second floor, and thus counting towards the GFA count. If we take that away and we only count the first floor and second floor as per design, and we're deeming the lowest level as the basement, we're actually only at 327 square meter FSI.
Oh, I see. So if you minus that, the basement, the FSI will be like.
It'll be much closer to what is permitted.
Yeah, I see. Which is, are you sure is half of that, right?
That's correct. It won't be half of it, 327. We will still be above the permitted FSI, but it's much closer compared to what is shown in the zoning waiver, which is 559. So we are losing over 200 square meters from that difference there.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, this, yeah. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I just had another question, if I may.
Yeah, Mr. Bayer has another question. Did he answer your questions? Yeah.
Just a follow-up question, if I may. There were 3 examples. I think they're great examples. I don't know if the applicant has the building depth or length for those properties to provide.
I don't have specifics on those, unfortunately. I apologize on that. But just looking at in comparison, just from a Google map perspective, it seems to be fairly similar to what we are trying to propose, just looking from the map perspective.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Bayer, go ahead.
Just one question related to the rear balcony, I suppose a balcony deck that you have. Looking at A3.3. I suspect, given the grade, that you will have overlook on your neighbors' properties, over your neighbors' properties. So I was wondering if we could have privacy screening on the, I believe it's the north and south sides?
That's correct. It is noticed on that. Yeah, we'll be open to that. I just do want to address that. I would assume that if the site grading is happening for our property, it would happen for the same for our adjacent properties. Yeah. But yes, absolutely. If privacy screens are required for the north and south side, we'll absolutely be able to accommodate that.
Thank you.
It's a rear second,
It's
second,
yeah, it's actually, I suppose it's the first floor, but given the grading, it looks like it's the second floor.
yeah,
Yeah.
you classify, identify a second floor, okay. Yeah.
And it's north and south
Yeah.
sides.
So any other questions, please? Okay, we do not have any more questions for you. Now we are in committee, yes. We suggest 2 conditions there. Yeah. Right, the driveway and,
Sure, I'll
Mr. Byatt, yes.
put forward a motion, Madam Chair, thank you. I'd like to move a motion to approve with 2 conditions. One is that the rear second-story deck have privacy screening on the north and south sides, and that the driveway be produced out of permeable materials. Just also note that there's a Metrolinx advisory note. It's not a condition, just an advisory note.
yes, that's right. Second, Mr. Allison will second that motion. All in favor with 2 conditions. Approved unanimously, yes.
Through you, Madam Chair, we will hold down item number 6, 134 WOLFREY Avenue. There are registered speakers for this item.
Okay.
We'll move on to item number 7,
Seven.
37 Woodlawn Avenue. Members, do you need a presentation from the applicant? See
Okay.
none?
The purpose for this application is to alter the existing 3-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a front 3rd-story dormer addition and a rear story, a 3rd-story Juliet balconies. The existing rear ground floor deck will be extended towards the south of the lot line. They are seeking only 1 variance, which is the FSI variance. Here, we also receive a copy of survey site plan, floor plans and elevations, 5 photographs of the property, and decision affecting the subject property, supporting material from the agent, and also supporting, we received twice, supporting material from the agent.
Through you, Madam Chair, at this time, we'll unmute the agent.
Hi, good morning. It's Glenn Rubinoff from Rubinoff Design Group.
Yeah. Can you give us your address too, please? Yeah.
Yes, it's 18 Gloucester Lane, Toronto, Ontario.
Yeah. Seems that we do not require a presentation from you. I'm going to check whether they have questions for you. We do not have any more questions either. We have studied all the material you submitted, and do you have anything you want to address the panel before we move into the committee? Yeah.
The only thing I will say is that the dormer is the only addition to the home from a GFA perspective. So the existing floor space index is already at 1.07 meters, so it's a difference of 0.2 effectively,
Oh, I see, okay. Yeah.
0.02.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, sounds reasonable. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we are in committee now, so, yeah. Mr. Addison, please, yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this is a relatively straightforward application. We saw a similar one
Yes.
earlier today. The construction of a dormer to facilitate more usable space in what is already existing part of the home. For those reasons, happy to move, put forward a motion to approve the application without condition.
Mr. Byatt, second. All in favor? With no conditions, approved unanimously, yes. Okay, next item.
Through you, Madam Chair, we will hold item 8, 46 Westminster Avenue, as we do have registered speakers.
Yeah.
So we will move on to item number
Item
9,
nine.
58 Harshaw Avenue. Members, do you need a presentation from the agent? See none?
Okay, let's, number 9, the purpose for this application is to alter existing 2-story detached dwelling by constructing a rear 2-story addition with basement and a rear ground floor deck. The existing auxiliary building, which is a garage in the rear yard, will be maintained and unaltered. They're seeking 3 variances. On this file, we receive a survey site plan, floor plans and elevations, and also 6 photographs of the property. And
Through-
can we have the agent, please?
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, at this time, we'll unmute the agent.
Osrin, you've been unmuted.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Can you state your name and address, please? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Ozren Stambok. I'm at 15 Moreland Road.
Yes. I do not think the panel require a presentation from you because we have studied all your materials. And do you have anything you want to address the panel, or maybe they have a question for you? Do you have?
No, I'm happy to answer any questions. I think it's pretty straightforward, and if anything needs explaining, I'm here for you.
Yeah, Mr. Ellison has a question. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick clarifying question concerning these landscaping at the rear. I presume it's a result of an existing condition, but I also note that it does note on the site plan that there may be a converted portion. Perhaps you could just provide a little bit of clarification concerning that variance for us?
Yes, absolutely. Through you, Madam Chair. So number 3 variance for the soft landscaping, we are actually, as per the site plan, increasing the overall soft landscaping by claiming a portion of the driveway and converting it to grass of the existing driveway. So the reason we're doing that is because we're adding a larger rear deck, but also to facilitate more use of the rear yard for the homeowner. And because right now, as it is, if you look at the site plan, that kind of diagonal dash area where it says 11.51 meters squared, that's the portion we are bringing into converting to grass. And so overall, it would have been a much more severe variance had we left everything the same. Well, then it would have been existing. It wouldn't have been a variance. But now, since we're introducing the bigger deck to offset any of the extra space we're taking up with a hard landscaping of the deck, we've converted a portion of the existing driveway into grass while maintaining a parking space. Yeah. So that's kind of where that variance comes from. So it's an improvement overall.
Yes, that's right. So we should tie it to the site plan, yeah, if we
Correct.
make a decision, yeah.
But may I ask, where is the proposed parking pad, I guess, because we're losing vehicular access to the garage. I presume there's no access, from what I understand, to the garage from a laneway, so it would have to be accessed via the right-of-way?
So that thick dash line right there next to the diagonal region, that is, let's say, like a legal parking space, but that wood garage actually has 2 garage bay doors. So it is possible even for the car to make its way into the garage, but we just wanted to make sure that when we did the zoning review, that there wasn't any issues with the legal parking space, and we didn't end up with a parking space variance. So we showed the parking space, plus there's a wood garage for parking access, but as you know, nobody actually parks in their garage in the city. So at the same time, we wanted to say, okay, this is the parking space, this is the portion of the hard asphalt that's remaining.
Thank you. I misread the drawings. I saw the dash line for the pad. I thought that was the area being converted, but it's fully clear now what's being proposed. Thank you.
Converted the next,
the next patch over. Yeah, very good. So there still is access to the driveway. There still is parking. Okay, yeah, that works.
Okay,
Thank you.
Mr. Bayer has a question.
Just a quick one, thank you. I'm going. Oh, sorry, 2 parts as opposed to the same thing. The new wood deck. It appears that on the east side, you're looking at a fairly substantial wall on the new build next door to you. But on the west side, they may be overlook over your neighbor's property. I don't know if that's that may be of concern. Can you perhaps just reflect on that one? And I'm also going to assume that below the deck, you've got permeable material, so that'll help with percolation, I take it.
Certainly below the deck, already the space below the deck for the vast majority of it is already some kind of permeable material. It's not driveway. Actually, you can see where it says on the site plan right there, existing concrete curb to be removed. That is currently the existing width of the driveway, that line that kind of snakes up there. So the deck will be taking just a small part of the existing driveway, and mostly it will be on the existing permeable material, which right now is a mix of grass and different materials. Now, speaking to the privacy concerns, this is a lower deck. It's like a typical. It's not above the first floor. On the, like you said, on the east side, there are no concerns. On the west side, I don't think there should be concerns because this is a ground level deck, and it's actually an yeah. So I think the neighbors are aware of the plans and they have not voiced any objections to it. So I think it will be there won't be a lot of privacy concerns for that.
Thank you. I also note that, of course, it's set back and you've got a shared driveway, so it shouldn't be an issue. Thank you.
They have a similar condition on the neighbor on the west. Yeah, they have a deck like that, open deck. Yeah. All right. So any more questions? Okay. We don't have any more questions. Now we are in committee. Yeah. And then I think that is a good idea to tie to the site plan because it gives a lot of good information there. Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I'm happy to move a motion to approve the application with the condition that it is tied to the site plan. I think in this case, I'm really happy to see that the applicants actually improved the soft yard landscaping. A lot of times where something's an existing condition, applicants often ignore it and say, well, it's existing therefore. But given that there's an intensification to the site, it's nice to see that offset with an improvement in other areas. And I think it also addresses the variance for the new deck at the rear. So yeah, for those reasons, happy to move a motion, as I noted, tying to the site plan.
Yes, and Mr. Baez second. All in favor with one condition? Yeah, approve unanimously. Okay.
Through you, Madam Chair, we'll move on to item number 10, which will hold 32 GLENAYR Road. There are registered speakers.
Okay.
We will also hold item number 11, 19 Davies Crescent.
Okay.
So we will hear item number 12, 9 Hugo Avenue. No registered speakers for this item. Members, do you need a presentation from the agent on this one? Yes?
You want to?
Okay.
A brief one? Yeah, okay. Yes. Hugo Avenue, the purpose for this application is to alter existing two-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a front one-story addition to enclose the front covered porch into habitable space and a rear second-story addition. On this file, receives survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and 3 photographs of this property.
Through you, Madam Chair, at this time, we'll unmute the agent.
Nelson, you've been unmuted. Nelson, are you there? You've been unmuted.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Good morning,
Yeah.
Madam Chair, members of the committee. Nelson Espinola as the agent for this application.
Can you tell us also your address, please, for the record? Yeah.
Yes, 1726 St. Clair Avenue West.
Okay, thank you. We do wish to have a very brief presentation from you. Can you do it for maximum 5 minutes, please?
Certainly. Basically, what we're proposing here is pretty much rebuilding the existing enclosed front veranda, but we're going to make the veranda as part of the first floor. In other words, we're going to remove the main wall and have that space as part of the first floor. And we're also building a small rear addition at second floor level. That's pretty much all we're doing.
Okay. So any questions, please? Yes, Mr. Addison.
I'm hoping the applicant, I have a few concerns with respect to the porch enclosure. And maybe I'll just, particularly with respect to kind of precedent on Hugo, I recognize that out of the 20, there's 20 homes. They all have very similar massing, all the same porches, all the same roof line. I note that there's 2 porches on the street that are enclosed, one of them being the subject property. So that's one kind of concern. I have it. The other one is the fact that it's not exactly a porch enclosure. They're actually demolishing the porch and they're rebuilding the porch as part of the home, which I think there's a kind of a fundamental difference. Part also including the fact that the roof itself is being reconstructed differently from the other homes, and the fact that the front main wall is actually being removed and it's becoming part of the conditioned space within, which I think is a little bit different in a lot of cases where you see those porch enclosures. So precedent obviously is a concern. I'm hoping the applicant might speak to a little bit of the mediator broader context and maybe support that type of additional front yard change to the front yard setback.
Yeah, here the questions, Mr. Addison is concerned about the inconsistency on the streets that you will be the one of the only two property that make that change. So can you speak to that, please? Yeah.
Well, the existing porch enclosure is, as you can see, in very bad condition. So my clients would like to rebuild that and at the same time make use of that additional space for the living room at the front, which presently it's a bit small. So we wanted to remove that front wall and just rebuild that. We're not excavating the basement, and I think it's an appropriate.
No, the question. Sorry, the question is not about how you use the space. Is that on the street? It seems that there are 20 properties, and you're one of the two have this change, and we are a little bit concerned of the consistency or the prevalent character of the street. Do you think it is a desirable change for the street? Yeah.
I think it is. I don't see this as having a negative impact on our neighbors, and I think it's an appropriate development for the area.
And it seems
I think the variance being requested are minor, and I think this proposal is desirable for the land. As I mentioned, I don't see a negative impact here on our neighbors. And, this application was circulated to the planning department. They didn't seem to be concerned about this as well. And our neighbors, none of them expressed any concerns. So I think it's a good development.
So are you going to just keep all the roof lines and that is at the moment is in line with your next door semi-detached, so you will not change that, right? And then your dormer, nothing will be changed there, right?
No, we're not. We're, the enclosure will be pretty much the same size as what's there right now.
Okay.
We're not making it any bigger.
More questions?
It's pretty much the same size.
Yep. Okay. We have more questions, please.
My understanding is the entire porch is being demolished and then the addition's being rebuilt. The roof line's going to change as well to a flat roof from a sloped roof. It is, I would agree that in terms of a overall massing, it is, a slight deviation from the sort of existing form, but it is not, I sort of will say it is not sort of in keeping with the existing roof line profiles on the street. You can see there's a bit of a flat roof there. So this is sort of where I get at with the difference between a porch enclosure versus tearing down the porch and actually extending rebuilding it as part of the home.
Well, we can certainly change the flat roof into a sloped roof. That's not going to be an issue. If it comes down to that, we can certainly change from flat to a sloped roof, similar to what's there right now.
But when I look at it, it's only very slow slope at the moment, currently anyway. So it's not much you can say that it's a flat roof, or you can cut it. The slope is really for drainage in this case. They didn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
Taking away the slope.
Yeah. I understand that. So
the existing roof right now is it has a bit of a slope, as you can see on the side elevation there. It's being shown in dashed lines.
Yeah.
Exactly, right there.
So
We can follow that profile if it comes down to that.
Okay. What is
We don't have
your
a-
suggestion
we don't have a
to
problem.
revise it so that it's in line with the next semi-detached?
Certainly, yeah, we can have that roof similar to what's there right now.
It's a tough call. For me, I would certainly be more, in terms of character, fit, and treating it more as a porch enclosure.
wait.
If it was being maintained, I would be
Can
more.
wait till we are in committee.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions first? Okay. We do not have any more questions. Now we are in committee now. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can see your concern, but what it is that the current porch is in bad shape. That's for sure. You can see the steps are all what you call it, sloping and all that. So they do need to repair certain things. But I think in terms of massing, because it's been there for a long time, this enclosed massing, and whether you, in line with the other roof, you can ask them to do it, but it's really a functional thing. To me, the massing hasn't really changed too much. Yeah.
If I may just, my thinking on this one is that I don't have any issues with it at all.
Yeah.
I know that, as my colleague has pointed out, it's, doesn't quite match the neighbor to which this one is attached, so it may look a little bit different, but difference is not a problem for me. I think this is part of change and different architectural approach. Yeah. The only concern that I may have, and that's, I think, for the agent and the owner of the property to consider, I wouldn't put it as a condition, but I would say consider the fact that the slope is there for drainage, as you pointed out, Madam Chair. If they don't have adequate drainage on a flat surface, will it present a problem for them and their neighbor as time goes on, because flat roofs are a little bit more challenging to keep clear. So
if it's properly constructed, it shouldn't be an issue.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah, because a flat roof can drain as well.
Absolutely.
If they're constructed well. So
that would be my only suggestion, is that is something that the agent considers.
I also
but I
tried
wouldn't put it as a condition.
Also try to remind you guys that there's no opposition.
No, absolutely.
And then sometimes we want to make it better, but then for whose benefits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of massing and all, you were talking about maybe 6 inches if it's a flat roof. But then it will be improving the condition right now. It's got a lot of things that you need to repair. Okay. So a motion, please. Yeah.
So, thank you, Chair. I'll put forward a motion to approve without any conditions.
Okay. A second.
I'm happy to second.
Yeah, Mr. Allison, the second, and all in favor with no conditions? Approve with no conditions. Unanimously approved. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, we'll move on to item number 1360 Montrose Avenue. There are no registered speakers for this item. Members, do you need a presentation for this one?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, so we'll hold this item then.
Oh, we hold. Okay.
Item number 14.
Go.
There are no registered speakers for this item, 60 Gold Avenue. Do you need a presentation?
No.
See none?
So we can hear item 1460 Galt Avenue. The purpose for this application is to alter existing 2.5-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a one-story addition, a sonarium, and a partial rear first-story addition with a rear third-story deck, and a rear ground floor deck, and a rear basement walkout. They're seeking 4 variances. And on this item, we receive survey, site plan, floor plans, elevations, 2 photographs of trees, and a cover letter from agent. And we also receive comment from transportation engineering and staff report from community planning. And we receive 3 forms of support of the owners, 74 and 63, 61 Gold Avenue.
Through you, Madam Chair, at this time, we'll unmute the agent.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, we do not need a presentation from you, and we have studied all the material you submitted. Do you have any, let me check whether they have questions. Do I have any question for this? Yes, we do have one question, yeah.
Sorry, through you, Madam Chair. Agent, can you please introduce
Oh,
yourself?
yes, we forgot.
So, right, of course. Sean Galbraith, the planner here on behalf of the application.
And also the address, your address, please.
18 King Street East, Suite 1400, Toronto.
Okay, thank you, yes. We have a question for you.
Just a quick one. I note that there was a previous decision that I believe was refused, or was it deferred? My notes say that the previous decision was refused, so the question is, what's changed between that and now?
I'm not aware of any previous decision. It's not in the file, and I wasn't involved in anything that was on it before.
Yeah, this is 60 Montrose.
We skipped that one.
60
Oh,
Gold.
I beg your pardon. I'm looking at the
No
wrong
problem.
No,
one.
this is
I had a
Galt,
feeling
Galt
you were-
Avenue.
Scared me there
Mr.
for a second.
Galbraith, I beg your pardon.
All good.
Well, at least an indication that you're very alert. Thank you.
I am now.
Yeah, we're just testing you, yeah.
My apologies. But there is, sorry, we're at 60 Galt, am I correct?
Yes, please.
So there is a planning condition, I believe you're probably aware of that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
the privacy screen.
Yes,
Yeah, when we've discussed it with planning, we're totally fine with that.
terrific, thank you. Otherwise, I have no
I
more
do
questions.
I do have a question. Have you guys studied the supplemental material? It seems that a transportation has some kind of discussion with you about moving your driveway. Is that, can you speak to that? Because can you bring the supplemental report from transportation engineer?
Through you, Madam Chair, it's presented on the screen at this
yes.
time.
Yes. And is that issue been resolved? That's what otherwise we will maybe put it as condition that you work with them, resolve this.
That is, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, that's for 1 FRYBROOK. If you look at the subject line,
Yes, it is.
Oh,
testing me again.
oh, that's another, but in the supplemental,
It's showing as item number 14, but it's not. It's for 1 FRYBROOK Road.
Phew.
oh, okay, that's it. That's, I must admit, that's not all my fault. It's only half of it. Okay, sorry. So it's.
Privacy screen, no problem.
It's mislabeled, so, yeah, all right, so let's put that in. Oh, no questions then.
No questions.
Great.
All right, so do you have anything else you want to address to the panel before we move into in discussion?
No, I think it's a pretty straightforward application, and it's a pretty modest addition.
Yeah, so, okay, we are in committee now. Yeah, Mrs. Byers.
Thank you, Chair. I'll go forward with this item. I just want to also, before I move a motion, just to thank the applicant, because I did note the graphics that were presented were very useful. I'd like to move a motion to approve this application. There's only one condition, and it's a planning condition. Otherwise, I think it's good to go.
Happy
Yes.
to second that.
Yes, their planning is for this privacy screening, right? The
Yes.
plan, yeah.
With the privacy screen.
That is number for item 14, that is for sure. All right, so all in favor? Yeah, with planning condition approved. Thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair, item number 15, 1 FRYBROOK Road has been deferred.
Yes,
We will hold item number 16, 29 Norwood Road, as we have registered speakers.
okay,
We can move on to item number 17,
okay, number 17.
89 Gainsborough Road.
Gainsborough, let me.
So,
bring-
sorry, members, do you need a presentation from the agent on this one?
No.
See none?
Okay, for item number 17, 89 Greensboro, the application's purpose is to alter existing one-story detached dwelling by constructing a complete second-story addition and with a front second story balcony and with wall projections on the ground floor below. A covered front porch with stairs and a rear porch with stairs covered by a cantilever portion of the second story addition and a rear ground floor deck with stairs. There will be 2 residential units in this property, and they are seeking 2 variances. And here we also receive a survey, site plan, floor plans, elevations, 5 photographs of the property. We have support, 6 letters of support, and also 2 from the same, from Highcroft Road. Let's have the agent.
Through you, Madam Chair, we'll unmute the agent at this time.
Julio, you've been
good morning.
unmuted.
Yeah, can you tell us?
Good morning, community members.
Yes, please. Yeah, your name
Good morning,
and address,
committee.
please. Yes.
Yes.
Good morning. Yes.
Good morning. Good morning, committee members. My name is Julio Cifuentes. The address is 145 Birmingham Street in Etobicoke. I am the authorized agent and architect on the application.
Okay, thank you. I do not think we require a presentation from you, right? Yes. Do you have any question to this?
Very, very quick question.
Yes, we have a question. Please go ahead, Mr. Addison.
Thank you. I just want to confirm I presume that the side yard setback variance is a result of an existing condition, the building on top of the existing building.
Sorry, would you mind speaking just more directly into the
sorry,
mic? It's hard to hear you.
Yeah, could you just verify whether or not the request for the side yard setback is a result of an existing condition of the building below, or is the condition being lessened, I guess, the setback being lessened?
Yeah, so the variance for the side yard setback is not for the entire second floor addition. It's only for the rear section on the second story. So aside from adding a second story to this dwelling, we are adding a modest extension to the back, and the side yard setback variance is being triggered on the second story of that rear addition. The rest of the second story addition on the second floor and on the ground portion behind the dwelling is lawful. And we have relief in other sections of the bylaw for those portions of the wall.
Okay, so the second story is in line with the existing first story then?
It is, yes. Structurally, it is. The cladding, makes it a little bit different, but in theory, it is in line.
Okay, thanks.
Mr. Bayer has a question.
Just a very quick one. The proposed parking pad in the front, I assume that'll be, may I correctly assume that it'll be permeable?
Yes, that'll be permeable, and that's also being handled through a separate application with municipal licensing.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. So you do not need to put it as, yeah, there you are. So, and any more questions? Okay. We don't have any more questions for you. Do you have anything you want to address the panel now?
I'd just like to add that we believe that this application meets the 4 tests that the committee considers for approval. We believe that it's minor in nature. It's a single-story addition, and we are only adding a modest addition at the back, as I mentioned just previously. We believe it meets the general intent of the bylaw, as the addition is following the existing geometry of the house. We think it's an appropriate change. The expansion is meant to accommodate a growing family. We have, as previously mentioned by you, 8 letters of support. And we do believe that we are meeting the general intent of the official plan, as we're respecting, reinforcing, and we think enhancing that front elevation and character of the neighborhood.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, we are in committee now. I think this project is a big improvement to look at the existing conditions.
I think that's the point that hit me is when I was looking at the photographs of the existing structure and the new, this is a substantial improvement. And there are only 2 variances that are relatively minor.
Yes, and also it's not like total, the setback you're concerned about, the side setback is not the total length or, you know, yeah.
I mean, usually I just look for that setback number just to see where it's being triggered, but
Yeah.
it was a little hard just wanted to make sure I understood it correctly.
Yeah, exactly, yes. So do we, it sounds like we have a motion here. Mr. Ellison, please.
Sure. And actually, I might ask, I guess there's no need to tie to site plan with a side yard. I'm not too concerned with that. So I'm happy to, this is I think, a very good application. It's a good intensification for the site. It doesn't, it's you know, taking into account both the sort of the immediate context and neighbors on both sides. And for that reason, I'm happy to bring a motion to approve the application without condition.
Mr. Bayer, second, and all in favor, approve with no conditions unanimously. Thank you. Next item.
Through you,
Next
Madam Chair, we can move on to item number 18, 127 Priscilla Avenue. There are no registered speakers for this item. Members, do you require a presentation from the agent?
No.
See none?
Okay. The purpose for this application is to alter the existing two-story detached dwelling by enclosing the front porch into habitable space. They're seeking two variances. And we have received a survey site plan, 4 plans and elevations, 3 photographs of the trees, and cover letter from the agent, and three protection plans are prepared by the agent. And we received comment from Metrolinx, and also we received support from 4 addresses on Priscilla Avenue.
At this time, Madam Chair, we will unmute the agent.
Yes, please.
Unmuted.
Cindy, you've been unmuted, and you may turn on your video.
Sorry, Cindy, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Good morning. My name is Cindy McPhee. I'm the agent for this application. Our address is 16600 Bayview Avenue, Suite 304, Newmarket, Ontario.
Okay, any questions? I do have one quick question. You are enclosing the front porch. It's already enclosed, right? Is it not?
Correct. We are, the intent of this application is to legalize this
I see.
finished area.
Can you also tell us that it is a common feature on the street, or you are the odd ones? I see your
Yeah.
neighbor has one. Huh?
That's correct. The 2 houses to the direct north, to the left on that photo, are enclosed. And there's probably more than a half a dozen houses that are very similar to this
It's good
design.
To hear that. Yeah, it's good to hear. And you also get support from your neighbors. And
do.
That's a good idea. Okay, Mr. Bayer has a question.
Just a quick one. At the moment, this is not a habitable space, am I correct?
At the moment, the house was purchased and it was advertised as kind of like a mudroom. So it was finished. So the idea here is that we want to have it legalized and conditioned, which means that currently it's just not heated or cooled or insulated. So that's also the intent.
So my question would be, if it's already an existing piece that you're not really altering, other than presumably providing heat, this, and maybe this is a question for Secretary Treasurer, does the purpose need to be changed rather than altering it to legalize it?
Through you, Madam Chair, the purpose of application can be amended to read to permit.
To permit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's more appropriate. And also, mudroom is a habitable space. Whether it's heated or not, it is still a part of the habitable space. I think, just to
So I think that might be
permit the existing enclosed front porch or something like that.
So it could read to permit the enclosed front porch.
Yes.
But we are altering that mudroom into like an actual room. we are altering the existing mudroom.
But that's internal alterations.
Yeah.
But right now, the structure exists, so we can
Yes,
say
okay.
to permit
Yes,
the front porch.
yes.
That will be altered into habitable space.
Yeah.
Okay. So you agree? Okay, thank you. So we don't have any more questions for you. So do you have any more thing you want to address the
No,
panel?
thank you for your time this morning.
Okay, so now we are committee. Yes. Mr. Byett, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move a motion to approve this application. It's a very straightforward one, just with the one amendment that the purpose has been changed
Yeah.
from to
permit.
alter to permit.
Yes. Is the second, Mr. Allison?
Happy to
Yes.
second.
Mr. Allison, second. All in favor with no conditions? Approved with no conditions. It's approved. Thank you. Yes.
Through you, Madam Chair, for the record, we have held items number 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 13, and 16.
Yeah.
So at this time, we can now begin with the first held item, which is item number 4.
Okay, back to number 4. Just give me a moment. Okay, item number 4, 36 PLAYTER Boulevard. The purpose for this application is to alter the existing 3-story detached dwelling by constructing a new front third floor addition and a 3-story addition with a rear ground floor covered deck and a rear third floor balcony. Also to construct a new front porch canopy, new front stair and a front second floor bay window, and to permit a front yard parking pad. We also receive a survey, site plan, floor plan, and elevation, arborist report, and the presentation material from the agent, and staff a comment from transportation, and also we have support from 32 PLAYTER.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do not have any registered speakers. At this time, we'll unmute the agent.
Yes.
Good morning, committee. My name is Tay Rook. I am the planner for the owners of the property of 36 PLAYTER Boulevard.
Can you also give us your address for the
Sure.
record? please?
56 RIVERCREST, Toronto.
Yeah, thank you. Do we need a representation from, to require presentation, or you have questions?
I'd like to hear a little bit about the parking pad variance.
Yes, can you speak to that? We have questions about the front yard, the parking pad. Yeah, parking. Yeah.
Sure. So, Madam Chair, one of the variances, as you indicated, is related to the front yard parking pad. You'll note that this is an addition to the existing dwelling to the side, the front, and the rear of the proposed dwelling. The current parking situation is one in which there is an existing garage at the back. However, the existing side yard setback, or the driveway leading to that back, is too narrow for any modern cars to get to. So the current parking situation is one in which where the car parks at the front yard, exactly as outlined where the proposed parking spaces to be. You'll note that there is no changes occurring to the front yard landscaping whatsoever. The existing driveway will be maintained. The existing front yard landscaping is to be maintained. And if you go to the presentation slides that I provided to the committee, this is a fairly tightly knit neighborhood. Pictures that I provided of the front of the property, where you see the existing condition on the subject site and also the neighboring site. So if you go to the last slide. So top picture where the tree fence, the black fence is located. So that's the existing driveway on the left. So the current parking situation is one in which where the car parks in the driveway because it can't reach the backyard. If you look to the adjacent properties to the right and to the left, you see driveway situations where cars are parked in the front yard. Similarly to across the street, this is typical of this neighborhood. It's because it's tightly knit. The driveway widths between the houses isn't adequate enough for modern cars to get through. And that's why this is the request for parking pad variance is being requested. Transportation doesn't have any concerns with it, aside from the fact that we apply for the appropriate permits and to restore any curb cuts that we need to restore. And I could submit to you that there is no curb cuts to be restored. We're just maintaining the existing curb cuts. And if you want me to speak to the other variances, for example, the main wall heights, while we have the picture up, we have a main wall height variance on the side walls of 9.5 meters, 9.96 meters, whereas 8.5 is permitted. And if you look at that side elevation before you, the green outlined area is the existing dwelling that's on the property right now. And the proposed is what's basically white or not green on that plan. So the additional massing or the additional height that's being proposed is similar in terms of the sidewall main heights and in addition to the overall building height. You'll note that there is no overall building height variance being sought, and the overall massing in terms of the length and the height and the width of the dwelling is similar and consistent with what's existing there today. You'll note that there's no length variance. We're proposing a 14.43 meter building length, which is pretty much consistent with existing building length right now, albeit a little bit wider at the back. However, you'll note that the rear walls of the proposed dwelling and the existing dwelling is consistent with the rear walls of the adjacent properties on either side. If you go to the area context map, which is the first slide of the presentation materials, you'll note that the subject height has been highlighted in red. You'll see properties that have been highlighted in green, and those triangles represent those houses that have main wall heights greater than 8.5 meters. And you'll note that the properties that have been highlighted in green are those properties that have FSIs greater than 0.8, and exterior main wall heights, which are the triangles, have less than 10 meters. And there's that one letter of support from 32. So I would submit to you from a massing perspective, from a streetscape perspective, and from a neighborhood context perspective, this house is more than is consistent with the existing fabric of development and pattern of development in the area. There are no opposition letters or concerns from any departments or from neighbors. And this does meet the 4 tests of the Planning Act. I would recommend that this is a meritorious application, and it does merit the approval committee, albeit with the condition of transportation dated in their comments dated March 27th.
Okay. Any questions? Mr. Bayer has a question.
Sorry, just a couple of quick ones. I think one is just related to, is it a rear deck or is it the balcony that I'm looking at?
It's the rear deck, sir. The variance, yes.
There's no overlook issues as far as I
No,
can
sir.
see. Yeah.
This deck is approximately 3 feet off the ground.
Okay.
And you'll note that the existing dwellings and the adjacent dwellings have less than the bylaw requirements. So we're maintaining the existing side yard setback on that north side for the deck.
Yeah. I certainly don't have any issues with the variances, except I suppose the question that I would have is with the transportation staff report, which basically recommends in the first paragraph, first sentence, that the parking space in the front yard be refused as front yard parking. But the second sentence says the applicant is required to apply and get approval for front yard parking. So I'm not quite sure how this would work if we apply the the condition, the transportation condition. Would that hinder your moving forward?
No, they will trump our decision. They have a bylaw. They will state very clearly, even if we approve, if they do not go through the permit and not allowed, this condition still in place. But what the little bit of difference from what he described the transportation report is that if they do not get the permit, it is not just to restore the curb, it's also restoring the driveway into soft landscaping. So I think we should just impose this condition, and we are safe. Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So, yeah, Mr. Allison, yes, please.
Thank you. Just a clarifying question then. So I understand that the driveway is, it appears to me that it is an existing condition. I just want to confirm that the driveway itself is not being widened. Because I heard the applicant say that the curb cut is existing. Their intent is to keep it as is. But I also just want to make sure that we're not increasing the size of the existing driveway.
That's correct, sir. We're not increasing the width of the driveway. Everything in the front is being maintained as is, as the current condition, as previously existed prior to this proposal.
You can tie the site plan to your, to the decision if you like.
Yeah, fair enough.
And also impose the transportation condition.
Okay.
Yeah. So, no more questions. We are in committee now, so let's discuss this. Yeah.
I initially had a bit of concern with the parking pad. I generally do.
Yeah.
I am satisfied in this case, just given the fact that there's a number of kind of vehicles in the front yard on this street and a lot of driveways. I do recognize that there is an existing condition. It is a driveway. They just happen to be parking in the front yard because they can't get the car to the back. So I'm satisfied.
It can still be the transportation.
And transportation still has.
Yeah, because people parking there doesn't mean that it's legal.
Fair enough. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
So I do. There was an added a recommendation to tie to the site plan, which I think it would be helpful. To my colleague's question, I don't see any privacy or overlook issues at the rear, so no need for screening.
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like to put a motion to approve the application and tie it to the site plan drawing.
Yeah, and with the transportation.
And the transportation staff report.
Yes. Mr. By second, all in favor for that motion? Yes, with two conditions. Yeah. Okay.
Through you, Madam Chair, we can move on to item number 6.
Number 6, okay, just wait a second. Number 6, now, it's 134, oh, sorry, I got it wrong. Yep. I don't have it here. Oh, 134 WOLFREY Avenue. Yeah, I don't have the agenda here. So the purpose for this application is to construct a new one-story auxiliary building, which is a garage in the rear yard. And they are looking for 2 variances. And I'm missing. For this application, we receive a survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, an arborist report, and also a comment from transportation services.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online as well as 2 registered speakers. So at this time, we'll unmute the agent.
Yes.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of committee. My name is Randall Dickey. My address is 446-1111 Davis Drive in Newmarket.
Yes, you do have some people want to speak on this application. Can you give us a 5-minute presentation, please?
Yes, please. As you have noted, this is a proposal for a 1-story detached garage accessed off of a rear lane to create a proper and secure parking space for the homeowners. That existing laneway serves both WOLFREY to the south, but also Garnock to the north. And I would point out that the majority of the lots which have access to the lane do have detached garages. As a side note, I would note that the existing dwelling is currently being renovated. There are no variances. The variances before you today have nothing to do with the house. All the building permits have been issued for the house renovation, and that is nearing completion. So what is in front of you this morning is 2 variances to deal with the proposed 1-story detached garage, which is a concrete block garage. These two variances only deal with the garage. There are no city departmental issues that I'm aware of. I do note the transportation noted there was no objection. And at this point, perhaps I would pause my presentation to hear what the other registered speakers have to say, and then I will attempt to deal with those in my rebuttal. Thank you.
Thank you, yeah. Well, we can hold our question to this, the agent after, yeah, after the other speakers, yeah.
Jessica, you've been unmuted.
Thanks. Yes, I didn't have any comments. I was registered as an observer, so I will not be speaking.
Okay, you have any
Thank you.
questions? No? No question to us? All right, next one then.
Christine, you've been unmuted.
Hi, my name is Chris Kisher. I'm at 5 Garnock Avenue. I'm the owner of the 5 Garnock Avenue. My garage backs up into the laneway to which this house also backs to. And I'm opposite the house. Half of my garage, I guess his property line is half of my garage. And at the moment, when they started the construction, electrical post was then pushed out towards the laneway, which now makes it extremely difficult to get into my garage. Also, there is construction fence, which I'm assuming was placed to where this garage is now proposed to be placed, which makes it even more difficult to get into my garage. I have a 2-car garage, and at the moment I have to pull out one car so that I can get the other car in, because there's no way to straighten out the car to get it in. The post itself is a huge obstacle, but if this garage is pushed that far into the laneway, it will make it even more difficult, as it does right now with the construction fence, to get in there. And when there's snow piled up, it's even more difficult. I have no objection to the garage itself, but just that far into the laneway, if it was put back to the proper lane, the proper distance to where the neighbor's garage is, then we'd have no issue getting in. There'll still be an obstacle with the electrical post right there, but it's right now it's really difficult to get in.
Okay, we can have the agent answer to that, yeah. So any question to this speaker? No. All right, thank you. Yeah, so let's go back to the agent.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. The post, I am aware, has been relocated to the property line, at the property line. So it does not encroach into the laneway. I would also note that the building setback of the detached garage is 1 meter, and that is shown on the site plan that you're viewing right now. We are setting back the garage 1 meter from the property line. There are no variances required for setbacks to the garage. Our garage is completely on our property, and it is set back 1 meter from the laneway property. So those are all the comments I have to say with respect to that item. I believe this is a very, very minor application. It's proposing to construct a detached garage that is very similar in common for other property owners in the along this laneway. My client has made arrangements to relocate the post, the hydro post, to the appropriate location, which is at the property line, and we are setting our garage back 1 meter from the laneway. Thank you very much. And I would ask that the committee would grant this application, and I would be pleased to try to answer any other questions you may have.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I do have a question. Of course, the current distance is your garage is further back, right? It's almost like another 1 meter back.
Yes.
So maybe they're used to have that extra space, I guess. My question is then, if they find that it's difficult for them to get into the garage, will that also create the same problem for you if you push it out further from 138, let's say? Will that create? Your proposed is further, right? Further from out into the laneway than 138. Will that also give yourself some difficulty getting into your garage, or you think that's adequate setback?
Madam Chair, so currently on my client's property, there is no garage. What is being proposed is a 1 meter setback. And my client is happy with that. They can meet their access needs by setting their garage back by 1 meter. I do not know how far set back the owner of 5 Garnock is from the laneway. I would also point out that I don't think that there's an onus on my client to increase their setback to allow another property owner to use my client's private property for turning. And I would also point out that it would probably trigger a change to the variance, because you would be further reducing the rear yard amenity variance, which is one of the 2 variances before you today.
Yeah, and it's, yes. Thank you for the explanation. I was just wondering whether it is enough room for both.
My client is satisfied with this layout and this proposed design.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions from you? Okay. We do not have any more questions. We are ready to discuss in committee. Do you have anything you want to address the committee? Anything else? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, nothing from me, but obviously if there is any other questions, then I'd be pleased to try to answer them. Thank you.
Okay. So we are in committee now.
Maybe I'll start this off, Madam Chair. When I looked at it, I don't see an issue with this particular application at all. And I do take note of the fact that the applicant has noted that they've set back their proposed garage by a full meter. Part of the challenge with people getting their vehicles in and out depends on the size of the vehicles you're driving as well. So it's a combination of factors. As one of the folks in opposition suggested, or concern suggested, they have to remove one car before they can get the other car out. So I'm thinking perhaps one car is bigger than the other. So that's part of the challenge of the vehicles one has. Apart from those comments, I don't see any issues with this application. There are 2 variances and that's it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, because they're very used to the existing condition, which is no car there, right? So you've got a lot of space. Yeah. Okay, so do we have any comment, or we have a motion? Yeah.
I would agree with my colleague's comments. I think the 2.6 meters in this case is a meter setback, but there's also, you look at the center line of the laneway. At 2.6 meters to the midpoint of the laneway, one would assume, 18 feet is more than enough. I know these laneways are tight, but that's part of the nature of living in the downtown core.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Bayat, is that
that would be a motion, Madam Chair.
Seconded.
Yes. All in favor with no conditions? Unanimously approved. It's approved. Thank you. Yes.
Through you, Madam Chair, we can move on to item number 8, 46 Westminster Avenue.
Yes. For this application, the purpose is to alter the existing 2.5-story detached dwelling by constructing a rear 2-story addition and a 3rd floor addition and a rear 3rd floor rooftop deck, which is above the 2-story addition, and to construct a 2-story auxiliary building with a laneway suite. And also the auxiliary building will be, it's telling us that it's in full compliance. So they're seeking for 3 variances. On this file, we receive a survey, site plan, floor plan, elevations, 5 photographs of the property, and email corresponding from TRCA And we have comment also received from Urban Forestry. And do we have? No, it's this one. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm reading a different folder. For this, we have received a survey site plan, floor plans, and elevation, a revised site plan, and floor plans and elevations, 6 photographs of tree, and we have tree protection plan, presentation material from the agent. We received comment from Metrolink, and opposition we have from 48 Westminster Avenue.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent here in person today, as well as some speakers in opposition here in person and online.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair. My
Yes.
name is Prish Jain. I live at 11 North Drive. I'm the agent for this application as well as the future owner. I'm here with my son here as well, Milan Jain, and I have a quick presentation for you today.
Yes.
This property is a property that we've purchased for my family. It's currently it's in an estate. I will be taking ownership of it next week. We submitted an application for zoning review back in December. We received a zoning review which had 13 outstanding issues. We then subsequently in January and February revised the application and eliminated 9 of those variances, and we're here before you today with the 3 variances that we have that are remaining. 2 of the variances are technical in nature. The first one, the easiest one, which is the roof eave on the east side, is an existing condition, and we can't do anything about that. The second variance is the variance of 8.5 meters, which is the side walls, and the requirement, we're proposing to keep the side walls at 9.8 meters. It's important to note that the height limit in this neighborhood is 11 meters. This proposal is not proposing to be as high as 11 meters. It's actually much lower, and it's actually lower than the adjacent property's overall height. That's noted on the survey drawing. So I want to now move to the third variance, which is likely the most contentious variance, which is the FSI. The FSI variance is currently it's zoned for 0.6 times, and we are asking for a density of 0.93 times. It's important to note that the existing house that's on the dwelling, it's unaltered. The existing house, probably from the 40s, has an FSI of 0.75 times. So we're actually seeking a difference from 0.75 to 0.93 from the existing house to the proposed house. Also important to note that we are not proposing the depth of the home to be greater than what is allowed. We're actually less than our neighbors at 43, and we are aligned with our neighbors, less than our neighbors at 48, and aligned with our neighbors at 44 for the ground floor and for the second floor. The third floor aligns with the third floor addition of our neighbor at 44. So the envelope of the house, both in terms of the height and the depth, the side walls are remaining, the front wall is remaining in its same position. The function of the density is really by the envelope, which is in keeping with the pattern of development and pattern of growth in the entire neighborhood. We've made a considerable effort to reduce the variances from our original design, working with zoning review and planning review to achieve what we have come up with today. I was hoping to eliminate even more variances, but these are the 3 that we have remaining. I did reach out to our neighbors. I understand that our neighbors at 48 who have submitted a letter of opposition, they are away and for long term, and I was unable to reach them, and hence their letter. And I did speak to our neighbors at 44, and I am agreeable to making several adjustments based on their comments that I had just recently last weekend. I'm agreeable to privacy fencing. It's not an issue. And furthermore, even though it's not an issue or it's not a requested variance, we will adjust the rear laneway house so that it matches the existing garages of both sides. If you go to the site plan, we will essentially flip the design of the laneway house so that it aligns with the existing walls of the rear laneway house for both. If you just zoom right in, so we'll take our laneway house and we'll flip it, mirror it, so that the east side and the west side align.
Oh, so step
So-
back.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So this is a wonderful neighborhood. I know I have 20 seconds left. We want to be part of this neighborhood. We want to be good neighbors, and we're here to listen and to make whatever adjustments we need to make. Thank you.
Thank you. So, yeah, we'll hold our question to you, and then let's others, listen to other speakers. And you can stay. Yeah?
No, no.
Oh, no?
Well,
Oh, they are here.
have to
Oh,
speak.
sorry. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, we'll ask the owners of 44 Westminster Avenue to approach the stand.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Hi. Oh,
welcome.
okay. Matthew might speak as well, so I'll just move it here. My name is Alison Merker, and I'm one of the residents at 44 Westminster. And
Matthew Myers.
And you are at the same address? Okay.
Correct, yes.
Okay, you have 5 minutes, please. Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell us your concerns. Yeah.
We are residents. I prepared something because I just wanted to get all my thoughts out. We're residents immediately to the east of the proposed plans for 46 Westminster and have lived at 44 Westminster for 15 years. We understand the desire to improve our homes and make them suitable to our specific family needs. Over the last decade, we've all done exactly this and have consulted with our neighbors over concerning issues and have made compromises that minimize any potential negative impact on our neighboring homes and families. We've done this to maintain and sustain good relationships that make up the fabric of our community, essentially being a good neighbor. These proposed plans do not reflect this ethic. The owner approached us 2 days ago with new plans in hand, only in preparation for this hearing, to discuss the significant impact the new house will have on all of us. We feel strongly that the plans do not reflect the tenets of the Planning Act, which was put in place to ensure that any development would integrate community input, environmental health, and positive intensification of land use. The plans for this house do not meet these rules. The already large home is increasing in height from 8.5 to 9.8 meters. The square footage is increasing from 159 to 248 square meters. The FSI is increasing from 0.6 to 0.93, which absorbs so much of the green space there is to almost nothing. There's no justification for the increase in GFA when it is being converted from a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house to the reverse, a 3-bedroom, 5-bathroom house, particularly when there will only be 2 people living in it. We renovated our house about 5 years ago to a much lesser scale, and we are a 6-family home. A 6-person home. The plans have intentionally chosen the maximum precedence set in height, length, and depth of its neighbors in order to achieve the maximum GFA on a very small lot, totally out of scale. This is not in keeping with the character of the neighborhood and belongs on a larger lot in North Toronto or Etobicoke where the scale would be appropriate. The ratio of the building structures to the green space is not appropriate to a home on Westminster where the lot size is small. We believe that it threatens the health of the environment and the overall well-being of the community, as almost all the green space is absorbed by the buildings, and any remaining green space in the adjacent lots is being put in the dark. The variances are not minor to us, as we are avid gardeners, and we spend a lot of time in our front and backyards, as do our children who play in them. The new heights in both the house and laneway suite will significantly impact our green space, our trees, our vegetable gardens, the native plant species that we have planted, all of which we have nurtured over the last 15 to 25 years, will be affected for the worse. Another considerable variance that we oppose is the infringement on our privacy. There is a proposed third floor deck that will look directly into our third floor bedroom with an overhang that will also contribute to a reduction of light in our backyards. The owner has agreed to set this deck back to the appropriate side yard setback and put up a glass privacy wall. We hope to see these in the adjusted plans. The other infringement is the alleyway suite, a self-professed man cave, looking straight into our backyards and homes. We would like to see an adjustment made on this building to ensure that privacy for all is considered. So to sum it up, the plans for 46 Westminster do not meet the 4 tests set out in the Planning Act. And even if they do pass, in your minds, what you can do and what you should do are 2 different things. We hope that the new owner appreciates this and will sit down with us all to work through a mutually agreeable resolution that mitigates the loss of light, privacy, and green space.
I would just add, there seemed to be, when we sat down with them the night before last, there was a lot of give and play in terms of things that could be done to improve this. We think that process needs to occur. The overhang over the third floor deck really is a feature that diminishes sunlight but adds very little benefit to the house, which he has agreed to remove in our discussion. But the third story deck overlooks all our properties, and if we put up a privacy screen, that's going to further block sunlight. So our preference would be is that variance of the third floor deck not be allowed or be confined to a small jut out, like a Julian step out as opposed to a full deck.
Any question to this speaker? I have, you just mentioned, have you finished? Sorry.
Yes, I have, thank you.
Okay. You just mentioned blocking sunlight from what direction though? I just want to know the orientation.
So if you are standing on the deck looking out to the backyard, the sun rises on your right side, so the east side, and then it goes down in the west, so on the left side. So we get a lot of light that falls in our backyards during that time.
That's what I can't get it, because if you look at the the sun will come out from the east and south, so it will be the other house will be blocking this house. It's not, and then in the afternoon, I just don't see the shadow will cast anything to the backyard.
Did you receive the picture of the sunlight?
Of the backyard light.
Because the highest portion is behind the deck. That's all. That's what I'm trying to say. The sun is coming behind. Yeah.
There's more pictures that were submitted.
Anyway, that's my question.
But the awning that comes off over top of that back deck is providing little value, but does block increased sunlight.
Okay. So here's the light. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you can see that sort of funny shaped shadow between the yards. That's the existing second floor. So if you imagine then adding the third floor on top of that, plus privacy screens, it will definitely have an impact on the light in the yards.
And I took another picture, which we submitted, which is we're
sun.
standing in the light that will then get blocked by, and it drops down behind there. So having that jut out of the third floor and with the extended awning over the deck, and then if you put a privacy screen up there, we're going to lose the last bit of light that we do have during that time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any question to the, yes, Mr. Allison has a question.
No, I'm just one clarifying question. It looks like the proposed third-story addition is in line with your proposed third-story addition. Is that fair to say?
Totally fair to say. The addition, not the deck.
Not the deck. So you don't have an issue necessarily with the addition. It's the deck that you're concerned about with respect to the shadowing
we understand that people want to increase floor space and have a nice big bedroom, bathroom, whatever. But so there's the light component, but essentially, I think what is more critical in our minds is the lack of privacy, because if you look at where our third floor, so that line right there is where our bedroom is. And so that third story deck looks directly into our windows.
And our jut out is just a one-story. We did that for consideration of both neighbors in terms of sunlight and,
Yeah.
and blocking. And
It's just
so forth.
to house some stairs.
So just to follow up with another question, so is, I mean, what is more of a concern? Because a lot of what we're dealing with here, you know, laneway suite and what's being proposed in terms of massing, a lot of it's as of right. They're building within an as of right, and a lot of this, right? So we really got to focus on the variances. And I do, to your point, I do recognize that in some cases, sometimes privacy screening does more harm than good. I live in a very similar neighborhood, very similar conditions. A lot of third-story terraces. I find that most of them within the city, particularly even in this neighborhood, they don't get used very often. I mean, unless it's coming off of a primary space. So, to your point about the privacy screening, I do acknowledge that it does sometimes do more harm than good. It sort of exacerbate a massing when nobody's up there to begin with. So, I mean, is there a preference if, you know, if this were to get approved, I mean, would the preference be to have the privacy screening there and potential, like, you know, an impact on potential shadowing, or is there more of a privacy concern? You know, you got to pick the lesser of the.
Yeah. The owner, which was encouraging, said he gets it because and it's a shared concern. Although it's our bedroom versus a deck that might not be used that much. But
yeah,
to bring it in to go to the full setback of, I think it's 900 millimeters. So the railing isn't at the edge, which he said he'd agree to do. But if it could also be pulled in, so it's not a full deck, but you know, an area he could step out on.
Okay.
Then you'd have a bit of that compromise where he can be outside, but he's not out in front looking down over side yards and front yards, and we would maintain some privacy.
Okay.
And then the privacy screen would be minimal, like, you know, like it would be tighter to the third floor wall.
Sure.
And so would have much less impact on the yards as opposed to coming out and putting up a privacy wall.
Right. So if I understand.
So I guess they answer your question in a way that privacy is more of the concern.
Privacy is more of a concern,
it
yeah.
sounds
But
like
I think that the ask for here, if I understand correctly, is sort of a desire rather than have privacy screening to actually pull the railing back from the edge, such as to kind of mitigate the impact without having to, you know, impose, you know, another, you know, additional screening on the massing. So I maybe I'll take that back to the applicant to see.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Byatt. No questions. Yeah, we don't have any more questions for you. Thank you. Let's bring back
No, through you, Madam Chair, we need to bring up the owner at 42 West.
All right.
42. Okay.
Test. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. First of all, my name is Luke Lukic at 42 Westminster Avenue.
Okay.
Proud owner. Actually lived on the street for 32 years. So I've seen a lot of stuff come and go and change. I work in the area of healthcare, and I am fully aligned and fully supportive of my neighbors to either the 46 Westminster, I mean, not 46, 44 and 48 in terms of their concerns and what has been communicated so far. In addition to their concerns and what they've communicated, and in this era of post-COVID, I don't think we can overlook the potential impact on mental health and anxiety and depression associated with life stressors. And certainly, the impact of this, I think, is worth noting. Firstly, from an impact on privacy issue, as they've alluded to, and the concerns, I could certainly empathize in terms of the impact that may have on one's anxiety levels, concerns about that. Stress associated with the lengthy process itself in terms of building a massive undertaking for both the house as well as the garage, I think it could add to the concern. And lastly, as a father of two young children, the lack of sunlight or the impact of reduced sunlight, I think, is worth noting. There's extensive literature to show the impact or the reduction of sunlight on anxiety, depression levels. My kids spend a lot of time out back, especially in the summertime, to set up their pool that they immensely enjoy, having friends come over, and, you know, I do not want that to be affected, and, you know, force them inside to work on iPad, you know, and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to kind of allude to the fact that I'm fully supportive of the concerns of my neighbors, but I also wanted to put a little bit of a, you know, mental health component in there as well.
Thank you. Any question to this speaker? Mr. Byte, you have any question? Okay. Thank you very much. We don't have any questions.
Okay, thank
Through
you.
you, Madam Chair, we do have someone online that wants to speak. So we'll unmute them at this time.
Shubra and Alok, you've both been unmuted, and you may turn on your videos.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Can you hear me? We're sitting next to each other, so I turned mine on. My name is Shubra Gururani, and I'm here with my husband, Alok Johri, and our address is 48 Westminster Avenue, just west of the property 46 Westminster. Would like to echo some things which have already been said by our neighbors in 42 and 44 Westminster. We have lived in our house for over 25 years in this neighborhood, and over the years, we also have undertaken renovation projects of our house and a garage and understand the need to do so. So we are not opposed to the alterations in the existing dwelling, but the proposed changes, we believe, exceed the limits and allowances set by the city, and as proposed will directly impact us negatively. We just heard from the applicant that they have made attempts to reach out, but so far we have not been reached, not been contacted, even though my son is currently living in the house and we could have been contacted via phone or email, which makes us wonder why the applicant has not sought our input in their plan so far. Much in line with what our neighbors in 42 and 40 Westminsters have said, we have four main concerns. The first one is about the loss of privacy. Second is loss of sunlight and openness, impact on our backyard, and most importantly, the changes that exceed the size of existing dwellings. We are concerned that the laneway suite that is being proposed, which was a previously secluded space due to high fences agreed to between neighbors, so we could all enjoy some privacy when in the backyard, now has windows which will provide unobstructed views into 2 floors of our house, including our main bedroom at the back. This will significantly impinge on our privacy and that of our neighbors. And importantly, as it has just been discussed, the 3rd floor deck in the rear of the house also does not conform and has serious privacy concerns, and I will not repeat as they have already been addressed. The bigger concern for us is the increase in height, which will impinge on our access to sunlight, especially from the east, and the impact on openness, which we currently enjoy. The significant increase in the height is from 9.4 to 10 meters, as well as the increase in height of the walls will cut off a lot of the morning sunlight that we have shared pictures with you that comes from above 46 Westminster and will now cast a shadow onto a backyard, impacting the sunlight and sense of openness we have. Finally, as I just said, that it'll impact our gardens, cutting off sunlight in the morning and eliminate our ability to grow our flowering plants that have been professionally planted with pollinators in mind. As has already been indicated, we also believe that the proposed design does not meet the claims that are being made, because the 46 Westminster is exactly like our house. It is quite large. It is a 5-bedroom house, and the proposed dwelling reduces the number of bedrooms inside the house to 3, which suggests that it's not a case of intensification of land use as recommended by city guidelines. On the contrary, it seems the proposed plan for expansion of the GFA's aim to make it amenable to flipping it for resale. As such, noting the harms to neighbors, we feel the expansion of the house is not justified. So we request the committee to review the proposed plan and recommend a reduction of the height to the current level, as well as a reorganization of the laneway suite so that the windows do not overlook our backyards as it will negatively impact our privacy, sunlight, openness, and our gardens. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question to this speaker? No, we don't have any question to you. Okay, let's bring back the.
Through you, yeah, Madam Chair, we don't have any further speakers, so
Oh,
we
the
can bring
applicant.
back the agent.
Yeah. So you will be able to respond to, it seems that the privacy is the one issue and shadow is another issue. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Sure, I'm going to address them, and I wanted to also mention, or something I forgot to mention in my first presentation, is that I'm also proposing this house to be a net zero house, so with geothermal and solar panels as well. The FSI, again, is in keeping with the pattern of development in the neighborhood. It's under 1 times. The current house is 0.75. This is 0.93. It does not exceed the depth. In fact, the neighboring houses are deeper, and the 3rd floor addition is aligned. The envelope of this house falls entirely within the pattern of all the other houses in the neighborhood. The FSI is a result of that perimeter or that envelope. With regards to sunlight, I did mention to our neighbors that I am agreeable to reducing that canopy on the 3rd floor. That 3rd floor deck is off of the bathroom. It's not off of a primary living space, and it's an ensuite bathroom. It will seldom be used, and I would argue that the floor-to-ceiling windows of my neighbor's 3rd floor addition have more of a privacy concern than the deck that would be rarely used in my 3rd floor addition. So again, the privacy issue, this is what we have living in an urban, dense environment. The privacy issues with regards to the laneway suite are not an issue at this hearing. Laneway suites are permitted. The laneway suite here will follow all of the zoning bylaws that it's subject to. In fact, I went out of my way to mirror the design of the laneway house in order to align the laneway house to both of the adjacent properties. The windows will be small. Like I mentioned to our neighbors, privacy concerns are shared concerns. I also will have privacy concerns of neighbors looking into my property, so I am just as concerned as they are.
Yes.
I also want to mention, with regards to the reduction of bedrooms, the number of bedrooms in the house currently is, again, the house is from 60 years ago. The bedrooms are very, very small, almost no closets. So what I'm doing is normalizing them. There are 2 bedrooms on the 2nd floor, each having their own bathroom, and 1 bedroom on the top floor having an ensuite. This is not a development house. This is my home, and the laneway house at the rear is for my personal use. Not that it matters to the committee or should it matter to my neighbors, but this is a house for me and my son. Lastly, sorry? Yes, and my daughter as well, if she wants to, if she chooses to live with us.
I forgot about her.
Yes.
Okay.
And lastly, I just want to mention that this certainly meets the 4 tests of the Planning Act. This is entirely minor. We went out of our way to reduce 13 variances down to 3. I will continue to work with our neighbors. We want to be in this neighborhood. We have done many homes like this throughout the city. Most of our homes have even won Toronto Urban Design Awards. We do what we do, and we're very good at it. So I hope the committee looks at that and approves these variances. Thank you.
Do I have questions? Yes, please. We do have some questions.
Please.
Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for the revised plans. I was looking at them quite carefully. The laneway suite, which was raised by, I think, the neighbor who was online.
48, yes.
48.
To the west.
Talking about overlook from the laneway suite, but I was looking at it's the proposed section drawing in your presentation. From what I can see, there's a bedroom in the back. It's not a contentious issue. It's not, there are no variances
Right.
related to it. It's as of right.
Yes.
It's a skylight, it's not a window. It's not a conventional window where you're standing and looking out.
It's fairly common. It's a window on the wall, and then it turns into a skylight on the
Skylight.
slope.
So really, it's not one that,
I'm trying to
becomes an
minimize the size of the window facing the backyard, but maximize the amount of light getting in. So there's some window on the vertical portion, and then more glazing on the sloped portion.
and from what I can read in the drawings, that the bulk of your home, it's on the existing footprint.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. I do have one question because it seemed that maybe I heard it wrong, but did you suggest that you can reduce the impact on the third floor rear balcony in terms of screening? So and then I also hear concern that if you put some private screen, it will increase the bulk, but some compromise that quite successful is to put some planting.
Planting,
So
yes.
that it reduce your occupable area, and it's basically you set that without increasing the massing.
Sure.
That might be a good solution.
It's a solution.
Because you want the privacy to yourself.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I did suggest that solution to our neighbors at 44, of a planter immediately adjacent, running alongside the east side of the deck.
East side, east edge, maybe we will call it 1 meter planter or 1?
Sure, that's fine. 2
2
feet planter would be fine.
600 planter along the east side. What do you think?
I'm just wondering if we should go into, because I think always come back to the variances that we have. There are 3 variances. That's what I'm looking at. Your suggestion to your neighbors to pull back the sides of your third floor deck, that's something that I think you have suggested to your neighbors are willing to do that.
Okay.
I don't think I should impose a condition on you to do, because that's not a contentious issue from the variances. That's something that you may do on your own in conjunction with your neighbors. The other piece about privacy screens, I think people often think of privacy screens as being some kind of physical barrier, impenetrable. But we've seen privacy screens with opaque glass, for example, that lets light through. That's the whole idea of an opaque screen.
Yeah.
So that's an option. In terms of the sunlight, access to sunlight, there's no shadow study being done to show that there'll be sunlight being impeded to either neighbor, the neighbor who
Okay,
spoke just
so,
now.
so we ask questions first and then we can wait.
So,
Yeah.
my suggestion would be, and I don't have a real question, but the question was related to your laneway suite. But would you be willing to put up a privacy screen that would be opaque instead of a solid block that would provide the privacy, but also allow for some light penetration? Would that be an option? Could be.
Absolutely an option.
Yeah.
Whether it's planters, whether it's an opaque screen, whatever is the most beautiful and the most satisfactory, that's what I would propose.
That would work. Thank you so much.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we are in committee. Yeah. So I think you raised good, Mr. Bayat, I think those concerns are very valid. That's where it can be, because if we impose planter, maybe they still not to the what you call the ultimate solution. Maybe they will do even more. I do not know. Yeah, it's just the same.
Planter may end up blocking light.
Yeah, yeah.
Worse than we. My thinking always comes back to, we have 3 variances.
Yes.
Are those variances an issue from my perspective?
Yes, and I
would say none of them are.
Yeah. I'm thinking more or less the same. Is that I did hear about shadow and sunlight, but there's no any real shadow study or proof that I mean, we accept certain schedule for sure, because all the houses are in line. In certain hours, there will be some schedule on it.
And to the point you just made,
Yeah.
this proposal is in line with the existing ones on both sides.
Yeah.
So the issue of sunlight,
Yeah.
From my perspective, is a non-issue.
Unless they have a schedule study precisely proves that
showing that
it's
there's a
all
impact.
the majority of the day is in shadow or something.
But even then, I think, you know, given that they're falling in line with what is already there in the immediate context. You
Yeah.
look at the depth, there's no variance for building depth. The
No.
house is not extending beyond what its neighbors already have. It's really building within the context here. I think it's really hard, it's a stretch to make a case for anything above and beyond.
Yes.
I might note, we've seen a few applications in this neighborhood over the last few months. Relative, this is a pretty
Modest,
this is
yeah.
very modest,
Yeah.
and I think
At one point,
just
yes.
to stage some of the neighbors' concerns. If I was living in a neighbor proposed something similar, I would be satisfied to, because I think in a lot of cases you could be the applicant. We've seen applications that are asking for a lot more, and I think this very closely kind of falls within the existing
Yeah.
context of development.
And as the
one-
applicant mentioned, they originally had a lot more variances and they've scaled back.
Yes.
That
So
too.
they come
They
up with 3.
Yes.
That's before us.
Yeah.
And I think when we look at the 3,
What,
that doesn't present an issue.
one point I like to point out, since from some of our discussions before, that although the city encouraged moderate intensification in residential neighborhoods, but the owners are not obliged to intensify if they don't wish to intensify. Yeah,
I mean,
it is within their right.
It can be in different forms. I think
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
changing your interior layout.
Yeah.
You do that to meet whatever you
No,
need
what
for
I mean
your-
is some comments, they say that they reduce the number of bedrooms from 5 to 3, but then the owners have this total within their right to do so.
Absolutely.
That they do not need to say always intensify if, that's the point that I want to make. Okay,
If I may just make one more comment, Chair,
Yes.
is that
please, yeah.
the discussion around pulling the deck walls in or out, or putting in a particular type of a planter or no planter, my suggestion would be do not impose a condition.
Oh, okay,
And
yes.
have the neighbors be able
Well,
to say, look, this
yeah.
is how we can resolve some of your concerns.
Yeah.
I think that would lead more to neighborliness, good
Good
neighborliness,
faith too,
than
it
any
seems
kind
that,
of
yeah.
imposition.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I
So,
would agree as well.
yeah, I could agree too, because privacy is both way.
I mean,
Yeah.
for personally, if I was, I prefer plantings over, I mean, yes, plantings can die, but, you know, again, there's an element of good intent too, right? And
Yes.
I am a believer that, you know, at the end of the day, these are your neighbors. You live next door to them, and, you know, you have to make nice, especially a new person on the block, right? So I understand some of those dynamics, and I think I get the intention. There's good faith here to
Yes.
find a path forward that's beneficial for everybody.
You are right, so, okay, do we have a motion? We do not have any conditions, eh?
No condition.
Just don't miss any of those.
And that's the other piece that one considers. City has not given us any conditions, no comment.
And there's no variance for the size of the third floor
Absolutely.
deck.
Yeah,
I think
no.
it's,
Yes,
they're
that's right.
very common in the city.
Yes,
Okay.
okay, Mr. Ellison.
I'm
yes.
happy to bring a motion to approve the application without condition.
Yeah, Mr. Byett, a second, and all in favor, approve unanimously. Yeah. It's approved, thank you very much.
Can we take a short?
Says, we're going to take a 5-minute short break. Yes, thank you. Turn off the,
Videos and turn off your mics.
Yeah, I should have called that before the item was called.
So we have a bunch of photos.
Yeah.
I have to say, this is very streamlined from the old days. Like I said, I can't believe how quick this is.
That's for you.
We tried. We don't want to be too clever. Is it, the supplemental, the pictures that I?
Oh, yeah,
Under materials in opposition? Yeah, those ones. He's got the same one.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah, so we can scroll down these ones when you come up to Steve
Yeah,
in front.
see, that's a good one there, that illustrates
Yeah.
basically my issue, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. So I'll see them flash up there.
Yep.
Okay.
It's under the supplemental.
Okay.
The second core, materials in opposition test.
Gotta get them in before the deadline. In the old days, we were able to handle it.
That's when it was, everyone was in person,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I think you had like a projector,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
could project the picture,
Yeah,
and everyone could see.
boards and everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but not in our hybrid world.
World, yeah.
We have a picture that shows the two houses.
So you're back to
That's
using
the
weapons
issue.
again?
Is there one
You
before that
used
shows the
Go
two
for
houses?
one point, I thought, no?
No, we've always used WebEx.
WebEx?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very.
Yeah, it's been
Oh,
good
is
so
it?
far, except
There.
for one of
So
our hearings that
That's a good one
crashed.
to start
at
with, because it
6:30
shows
at
the two
night.
houses.
Yeah.
This is my house.
But it was like a
This is theirs,
worldwide
so you-
situation,
I'm just
so
trying to
we ended up having to defer a
So
number of
the issue is,
applications.
the issue that I'm gonna deal with is right in this
So
corner.
that's one of the
where you can
offsets
see
of
that
having
there's even
the
temporary stuff
virtual
and stuff
and in
in there, but
person,
that's not.
Yeah.
but for the most part, it's worked really well.
No, it does.
I mean, during the pandemic, we were still able to do work, right?
Yeah.
Because everything was virtual.
Yeah, I was doing a couple of those for look over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But you've got it down now, you've got the science and the mechanics and how you
Yeah.
do it, muting
Yeah.
people, and people weren't muted,
The
the
property line
cats,
on
you know,
the
stuff.
fence right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, because that shows the,
Yeah.
the height of my house and that's their house. So the slant is this way, and my concern is around the drainage. on all that stuff. Yeah, that's a good one to start with, yeah, that's great. Well, I know there's a guy that lives behind me on this side, who's also put in a, about the visibility. In fact, I had his, he said about it, yeah, he's gonna talk to it.
I turn it off because,
For some reason, we can still.
I just turn it off. You know what, I can just mute the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's his, he submitted. Oh, okay.
I also remind the buyer that your windows have buttons too. You can use them.
Where? Sorry?
Privacy. You can do your blinds.
Oh, that's true, yeah. As someone that just recently undergone my own intensification of with window coverings have become important.
Okay, we can get started. So And make sure, yeah.
Yes. Okay, let me get number. Glen, yeah. Okay, we continue. We resume, and item number 10 is 32 GLENAYR Road. The purpose for this application is to construct a one-story detached accessory structure, which is an enclosed pool cabana at the rear of the property and an in-ground pool between the house and the accessory structure. They're looking for 2 variances. And on this item, we receive a copy of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 5 photographs of the subject property, and a correspondence from TRCA. And we have a staff report from Urban Forestry, and we receive 3 oppositions. Yes, 2 oppositions and materials also from, opposition with no names. Okay.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online as well as 1 registered speaker in person. So at this time, we'll unmute the agent.
Oh, hi, it's Paul Guest here from Betts Pools in Stouffville, 5668 Main Street, Stouffville.
Okay. All right, you do have some opposition. Will you please give us a presentation for maximum 5 minutes?
Yeah, the accessory structure was being originally built with no plumbing. During the project, the customer requested a washroom be added to the accessory structure. Therefore, we needed to apply for a permit. Prior to that, we didn't need a permit. We were building the structure based on the new bylaw in place, which would be like a 0.3 meter setbacks and an easier height. Because the pool is a small yard, it's very hard to fit in, between the pool and the rear yard property line. The property, for some reason, is still under the old city bylaw. It seems to be the only house on that street that's still under the old city bylaw, which is not as is more restrictive. So that's why we come to the committee for the variances. As far as the letter of objection is concerned, number 1, the cinder block, it's still under construction, so the cinder block is going to be parged, and there will be new mature cedars planted along the entire fence at the rear of the property line as required for privacy. And the plumbing will be hooked into the house plumbing. We'll have a plumbing permit, and we'll get it inspected, so there will be no discharge onto the rear of the property from the washroom. So it'll all be done properly into the house plumbing. So the site is still under construction and will be left neat and tidy and in a professional manner. That's really all I got to say. If there's any questions or concerns.
Yeah, so we're holding our question to him. And
Fair enough.
Let's listen to the oppositions first. Are you finished? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finished.
Okay. Let's have the next speaker. Yeah.
Hello, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Ray Moling, and my wife and I live next door at 30 GLENAYR Road. Okay. We've been there for several years. And you can see on the screen the issue for us is not so much the pool, because the neighbor told us they were going to put in a pool this summer. It's the drainage from the pool and the proposed cabana. And as you can see from this photo, our house is lower than their house. So the water all moves from left to right. In other words, that's what our concern is, because there will be a roof on the cabana. So the water from the deck, we're not sure how the deck has been constructed, but what we're worried about is being able to see a drainage plan for this proposed pool and new structure, so that and you can go to the next picture, because you can see that our pool equipment, actually go to the next one. Our pool equipment, no, next one. Yeah, well, maybe even the next one. Yeah, you can see our pool equipment is right there in the corner. And you can see there's a temporary blockage there to prevent overflow that was gonna pour into our yard. And so the concern I have is, and obviously my wife too, is what will happen with these new structures and the new pool and the deck that's proposed in terms of the water flow. So there needs to be some kind of a drainage plan. And I haven't seen the plans. I didn't see the plan even for the pool or the cabana at all. This is the first time I've seen it when I knew we were going to the committee, so.
And yeah, you were, but you haven't seen, you haven't talked to the applicant, the agent?
No,
Maybe
the only neighbor, the neighbor knows I'm concerned about drainage because we live lower than they are, but it's more, and I've pointed out this to her. But I didn't see the plans. She told me last year that it would be, the pool would be put in this summer, but obviously it started last fall. So now my concern is elevated, especially with the cabana. But I'm pleased to hear that the plumbing for the bathroom is now gonna be put back into the house, because that was the other concern we had about that. But it's more around the slope of everything up there and the runoff from the cabana that's gonna come collect in my corner and continue to erode that part, so,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Any question to this speaker? No. Thank you. We don't have questions. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. I guess we go.
Next.
We can go back to the agent at this
Oh,
time.
that's it. Okay, the agent.
Hello?
Yes, yeah, the concern about drainage, can you explain, yeah, that, how your drainage work? And yeah, that is sort of directed away from 30. They want to make sure it's not draining to their property.
Chair, my name's Tom Walker, and I'm a comrade here with Paul at Betts Pools. Would you allow me to answer the questions?
Yes, please, if you can, yeah.
Thank you. So, through you, regarding the pool plumbing, the city requires us to take any backwash of the pumps, filters, etc., and direct that into the same plumbing stack as the bathroom. So I'm not sure about the neighbor, whether they have maybe an older pool construction that might backwash pool plumbing straight onto the ground in front of the equipment, but all new plumbing installed now all gets backwashed and directed into the the sewage stack in the house, the same as the bathroom. So there wouldn't be any new water from the pool introduced to the landscape. Regarding the cabana and the roof line runoff, we're just in design stages actually of the cabana structure, but we've proposed to the client now, and it looks to be accepted by them, that we would use a flat roof at the back, which would direct most of the rainwater to the back edge, and then obviously any construction we use would have eavesdrops on it. I do believe we've met the setback requirements on that side between us and that neighbor, so we're thinking there'll be adequate room there to deal with any drainage.
Yeah. But the downspouts will not be running to on their side, right? You will be directed back to your side. That's what they concern.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is there another question or?
Yeah, this is a question to you. Yeah, for me. Yeah, no. What I'm saying, I see that you have the cabana. There's the roof plan showing gutter and gutter and eavesdrops. But then when I look at your elevations, the downspouts is not being drawn anywhere. I just want to make sure that your eavesdrops or downspout is not running water towards number 30, but rather to your own side. That's, yeah.
Yeah, we'd be happy to meet that condition if that was required, no problem.
Not
We
if required,
basically
you
looked
have
at the
to,
site.
I guess you cannot run water to their side for sure, but I want to be sure because on your elevations of the cabana did not show any downspouts, location of downspouts and how it's directing the water. That's all. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Can I respond to that?
No. Yeah.
No?
Yeah. Also, I don't think so. I'm sorry. It's not
okay.
our order. So, do
Oh,
we?
yeah.
Yeah, right. You don't have any indication of where the downspout is. I just want to make sure that.
Drawing number 5 actually shows the downspout for drainage onto proposed pool patio.
Yes, yeah, on your side. That's what I say, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any question? Yeah, we have another question for you. Yes.
Just had a question about the height. I'm curious, at 3.77 meters, we're over 12 feet. Why is the height where it's at if we're just looking to enclose some pool equipment and have a washroom, I understand?
Yeah, so the height is drawn as it is so that from pool patio level, we might walk straight into the cabana. We require the height from grade to be that high so that we come up to the height of the pool patio.
Okay, so
from the pool,
access is the pool patio grade at 9 point. This is what's not clear to me.
Right.
Yeah, because there's not. I mean, I'm essentially looking for a nice fat line there to indicate where the ground is. So it's hard to understand. I mean, I see the doors are elevated, and after seeing the photos, I understand a little bit more of the condition. But I just want a little bit of clarity as to where that additional height is coming from. And you're saying that's mainly on a part of the kind of steep grading, just to bring that up to the same elevation as the pool, the grade of the pool deck. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Any more questions? Yeah.
No question, just to the
It's a good
question
point,
that my
yeah.
colleague was asking, I think the drawing number 7, is it D07, I think quite nicely indicates why there's this additional height. Because
Yes.
it is from grade going up to 3.77, that's where it comes from. No.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Okay.
No other questions, Chair.
Yeah, okay, all right. No other questions, so we are in committee now. So I just want to point out that it's actually under building code that you're not allowed to pour your water or shed your water on the next door neighbor's property. If it happens, we should maybe call the Toronto building to report that, yeah. They have to take care of their own drainage. Yeah. Okay, any other comment? Do we have a motion?
Are we in committee, Chair?
Yeah, we are already, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just start off by saying that we've got 2 variances and they both relate to the pool cabana. And I think variance number 1 was explained when Mr. Allison asked the question about the height. And that was in drawing D07, D07. I think it's quite well explained. The variance number 2 is indeed a relatively minor one, given the particular context. So I don't see any issues with this particular application as it stands.
Yeah.
So I'd like to move motion to approve the application as is. There are no
Yes.
conditions attached from what I can see.
No, yeah, and second, Mr. Addison? Yeah, second. All approve? Yeah, all in favor, approve. And I encourage the applicant to work with your neighbor just to make sure that you do not drain onto, you do not make their condition worse. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Next item is
Item 11, 19 Davies Crest.
Okay, Davies Crest. For item number 10, 19 Davies Crescent, the purpose.
Item 11.
Item 11, yeah. Oh, yes, item 11. Okay, is to construct a new two-story detached dwelling with an integral garage, a front porch with stair, and a rear ground floor covered deck with stairs, and a rear basement walkout with a patio. They're seeking 11 variances. And on this file, we received a survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, with revised site plan, and a correction red line public notice, and a red line zoning notice, a photograph of the rear patio, and 6 photographs of trees, cover letter from the agent, and we received another cover letter from the agent in March 7th. Comment we received from the community planning, a staff report from community planning, and we have support from 7 letters.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item. At this time, we'll unmute the agent.
Okay.
Zoran, you've been unmuted.
Yeah. Yes, do you hear me?
Yes, give us your name and the address. And before you make any presentation, because you have made revisions on some of the variances, I'd like to go through those first, yeah.
Of course, yes. Madam Chair, members of the committee, my name is Zoran Tirnanik from 44 Ramsey Road, East York, M4G1N8, and I am the agent of and the architect. I hope you have a red line public meeting in front of you, and as you suggested, we should start with those items first, which were revised.
Yes,
I would start with number 3, because that's the most important one, and that number 3 impacted number 2, 7, and 9. About 10 days ago, we received a call from planning department, and Alexa from the planning department says that the only item that they have a problem was the coverage. And she says, if you can reduce the coverage to maximum of 43%, we will be able to support. And of course, this was for us a good news. And we went and we shrank the building at the back. And now our coverage in
Sorry,
item.
can I interrupt? Sorry, we do not need to hear the reason for now. Just give us the changes so that we can make the changes, just the numbers. And then we will, then you can explain to us why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in number 3, the coverage is 152.27 instead of 176.64, and the coverage in percentage is 43 instead of 50.
Okay, thank you.
In number 2,
yeah.
The changes in number 2 is that the top of the rear patio is changed from 2.8 to 2.7 meter height from the bottom of the basement walkout, and the depth of the rear patio is reduced for 3.2 to 3.07.
Okay.
Number 7, automatically by reducing the coverage, we reduce the FSI from 0.85 to 0.83, which is 294.07 square meters. Number 9 is deleted. Because of those changes, we don't have a problem with the encroachment into the rear yard from the patio. Our patio now meets the zoning requirement for encroachment, and that number 9 should be deleted.
Okay.
Those are the changes. Yeah.
So we have all the capture all the changes. Okay. So that we are ready. If you want to give us the reason or the improvement in a very brief presentation.
Yeah. Okay. Very briefly, as I said, the number 3 was the one that was requested by the planning department, not the other ones. The other ones are just a result of that, and then we of course reduced the size of the building and went to 43% as per suggestion from the planning department. Automatically, number 7 was reduced because the building is shrank, it's smaller, so the FSI is now 0.83. That's the result of this. And then we also took opportunity, but because we already did those changes, we took opportunity and revised the size of the rear patio slightly. And then we changed the height of the patio from the bottom of the walkout, and that resulted in the setbacks calculation, which now meets the zoning requirement. So the side setback of the rear patio and encroachment of the rear patio now meets the zoning requirement. So number 9 is not a variance anymore.
Okay.
So those are the changes.
Yeah, thank you.
And now, if you want, I can go through the other ones. You know.
No, it's fine. Yeah. Do we have any questions? Mr. Bayer has a question for you.
Yeah, I'm just a little puzzled. You've got photographs of a rear patio.
Yeah, that's okay. Sorry for interrupting.
So is this house already
No.
constructed?
No. This was not sent to your attention. I sent this to Alexa from planning department because she was asking me what are we envisioning there, because she wasn't understanding our drawings. She thought that our rear patio has a completely enclosure around, not like on this picture. And then I said, this is a building directly across the street, number 20. It's not our building.
So, this is not yours.
No, I just said as example, and I said, Alexa, this is what we are doing. This is open underneath, and we have a light to the basement. That's the only reason. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you, because I was wondering if it's already under
No.
construction or not, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Do we have any other speakers? No.
Let me just see.
Yeah.
I think I might have
Okay,
had.
just wait a little bit, yeah.
The only thing I was looking at was, I think your driveway. Bear with me. I think I've got it on this revised plan. Driveway. You've got I suppose the driveway is going to be a new driveway as well.
Yes, it's completely new. Yeah.
Yeah. So on your site plan, it just indicates driveway, but I'd like to propose that we put in a condition that the driveway be produced out of permeable materials.
Okay. That's not the
You
issue.
okay with that?
Yes, I'm okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
I also have a very quick question. There's a planning report. They also have one condition is to tie to your drawings.
Yes, because
okay,
she,
right?
yeah, of course, that's obviously normal. She just wanted to make sure that we are doing as per revision, not as per original application. Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, now we don't have any more questions, so we are in committee now. We are in discussion. Okay. I think I'm okay with the revisions, and I think that is a good improvement. Yeah. What do you think? Yeah. And also there are two, as amended, and also there are 2 conditions.
So I'll move forward with this one, Chair. Thank you. I think with the red-lined version, revised plans, and as amended, this application is a reasonably good one. The only conditions attached to this would be the planning condition, and pardon me, that the driveway, the new driveway, be produced out of permeable materials. So it's an amended version.
Okay.
With 2 conditions.
Yeah, I second Mr. Addison. Yeah, Mr. Addison second. All in favor with 2 conditions and amended agenda approved. Thank you. And
Through you, Madam Chair, at this time, we can move on to item 1360 Montrose Avenue.
13, okay. For this reason. The purpose for this application is to alter we altered the existing two-story detached dwelling by constructing a complete third-floor addition with a rear balcony and with a partial south side second-story addition is to go up to the third floor. They're looking for 5 variances. And here, we also receive a survey site plan, floor plan elevations, 1 photograph of the property, and 3 photographs of the trees, and decisions affecting the subject property, and supporting material from the agent. We receive also 6 forms of letters in support.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do not have any registered speakers for this item, and we will unmute the agent at this time.
Yes.
Formosa Drive in Richmond Hill, and I'm the agent for the owners of 60 Montrose.
Do you get the name? Yeah.
Sorry, can you say your name again? It got cut off.
Austin Emino.
Okay. You do not have any opposition. I just check whether the panel wants to have a presentation. Do you guys? Yeah, you do. You do. Yes. Yeah. So can you give us a very brief presentation for 5 minutes? Yeah.
Yep, so we were before Committee of Adjustment previously on November 22nd, 2023 for a similar proposal as today, but we went back and worked substantially with city planning staff between the assistant planner, Simon Lacoste, and also the senior planner, Kirk Hatcher, to ensure that planning had no concerns with our proposal this time. So what we did was we improved the existing rear yard landscaping to remove that variance, so we're not requesting that anymore. And then we also revised our straight facing roof to remove our variance regarding roof slope. So we got rid of 2 variances for this new application.
Okay.
So we're still proposing to construct a 3rd-story addition, which is essentially over the existing 2nd floor footprint, aside from a portion that kind of cantilevers over the jog of the house in the back. And we're also requesting side wall heights in order to get kind of a square ceiling within the 3rd floor. And our density, we're requesting 1.22 times the lot area, whereas 0.6 is the maximum. But I just want to note that the existing house, as it stands today, already has a density of 0.79. And looking at kind of the streetscape in the neighborhood, any house that has 3 stories existing would already be at a density of 1 or higher. So the density that we're asking for is still consistent within other houses in the neighborhood that are 3 stories tall. And then in terms of the building depth variance, so that's just what exists on the ground floor today, kind of a rear 1-story addition. So the 3rd floor itself doesn't trigger a building depth variance.
Okay. Thank you.
And then, yeah, sorry, one more thing, just, so 62 Montrose, which is our neighbor right beside us, they spoke against us previously, but now we have their letter of support. So we got kind of support from all the neighbors. No one's opposed to what we're doing here.
That's good, yeah. Okay, thank you. You're finished? Yes, you still have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have questions. Yes, we have questions for you. Yeah.
Thank you. Just a question about the building depth. I'm just curious, is that there's a single story at the rear. Is that's what's triggering, my understanding, the variance for the building depth? Is that single story addition being reconstructed, or, I mean, what's the reason that variance is getting re-triggered?
Yeah, so the reason why that was triggered was because whoever enclosed it, like from the previous owner, didn't do it with a permit. So when the zoning examiner reviewed the proposal as a whole, they just kind of triggered it as a building depth variance to maintain what's existing. But that space itself is just, it's over a walk-down basement stairs and stairs that get you to the ground floor. So it's an unfinished, uninsulated space. It's basically like a porch enclosure back there.
So it's essentially to maintain an existing construction, or to permit authorization of an existing, so there is no construction proposed for that single-story addition. I wonder if the purpose needs to acknowledge that, or not, and maybe I'll ask.
Through you, Madam Chair, so would you amend the purpose?
I'm
Or-
sorry, I was,
I was a little confused because it seems that they're looking to authorize an existing condition, which is the single story at the back, and that, I just didn't want to conflate that with what's being proposed on the third floor, is that it is triggering a building depth variance, and it seems, based on what the applicant has stated, it's to authorize something that was permitted without the
it's not
variance part.
permitted,
It's not
that's why,
permitted.
no, because that's why the variance is there. I mean, like, they're asking for it now, right? So I don't think you should change to specify it's already.
Because there's no mention about authorizing the ground floor, and I just want to make sure the purpose, it seems like the purpose of the application on the notice has nothing to do with that depth variance. I just want to make sure they're not tied.
You can tie to the elevations, so they
Okay.
can only build to whatever is still, is shown. But I'm not too sure you say that it's triggered by the existing conditions.
My question, and I'm a little puzzled, so maybe you could, the depth variation, a variance that's being requested, number 5, that includes, from my understanding, Jordan, that included that little shed overhang.
The
piece
single-story
the
piece at the
single-story
rear.
piece,
Yeah, that's what that's for.
So
Yeah.
if we, my question and concern would be that if you approve that variance, would that at some point allow for construction above it?
You would
That's
tie it
why
to
you
the
have to tie to
elevation.
the elevations, that's what I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it's only limited to what they propose.
Maybe that's the
Yeah.
way to go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how they do it with, like front porch enclosure, the building, always tied to the elevation so that they will not build another floor on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the plan too, the plan does not show you're building over every floor, so we can tie to the plan and elevations.
Good, yep.
Yeah. So, okay, do we have a motion?
Yeah, just a few comments. I'll bring a motion to approve the application. I had a little bit concerned initially with the building depth, but it just acknowledged that it is pertaining to that single story at the rear. Generally, I think, when you have a full third-story addition, there's often it's nice to see a little bit of a setback at the rear. But I did acknowledge that they aren't building the entire building depth. They're not related, right? The
Yeah.
variance of the building depths to the single-story structure, and they're building within the as of right depth, I should say, on the third story. So I'm satisfied for that reason to make a motion to approve the application, and I would like to tie it to I think both side elevation drawings.
And the floor plans,
And the
right?
yeah, I think floor plans and elevations are fine. I ask, I'm
So-
fine with that.
Sure. All right, so, Mr. By second, yeah, and all in favor with that condition? Yeah. Thank you. All right, let's move to,
Through you, Madam Chair, item number 16, 29 Norwood Road, and this would be the last item for this morning's session.
okay, Norwood, 29 Norwood, okay. The purpose for this application is to construct a new two-story detached dwelling with a front integral garage, a front ground porch, and a front second-story balcony and a rear basement walkout, rear ground floor deck, and a rear second-story balcony. And this property will contain 2 residential units. They are looking for 3 variances, and we receive a survey, site plan, floor plan, elevations, 10 photographs of tree, and we receive comment from transportation engineering and staff, report from community planning, and also from Metro Links. And we have concern from 31 Norwood Road and opposition of 86 Elderly Road.
Through you, Madam Chair, we do have the agent online as well as 1 registered speaker online. We have made multiple attempts to contact Walter Rubino, but we have been unsuccessful in contacting him. But we will hear from the agent and the registered speaker at 31 Norwood Road.
Okay, thank
So
you.
at this time, we'll unmute the agent.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, so you would like me, okay, regarding 29, there are 3 items that went.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. Let's give us your name and your
Oh, so I'm
address
sorry.
for the
Yes.
record, please. Yeah.
It's Patrick McAuliffe, 69 Harris Park Drive, Scarborough. I'm the agent for the owner.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you can start. You have some opposition. Yeah, please give us a 5-minute presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so this house, there are 3 items that went to committee. 2 of them I can't, well, the first one, which is the height, I can get rid of that one, that's no big problem. The second one is the length of the house, or the depth of the house. Now, the reason why the depth of the house is so deep is because the house at 27 Norwood is only 1 meter from the front property line. So because of that, and averaging of the setbacks, that's what's made this house appear so deep on the property. The other item, which is the actual garage, I still cannot figure that one out. I think that the original designer made a mistake on that, but I'm afraid to eliminate it because I don't know what the heck it's all about. So really, there's only one issue that we're really important issue that we're dealing with, and that's the length of the house. And like I described, it's a lot of this is because the house is a little bit long, but a lot of it is because of that house at 27 is too close to the front property line. As to the issues that have been raised regarding trees, there's no tree that's going to be affected by this. Whatever trees that are close are going to be protected. So no trees are being cut down. No trees. We're not even working in any of the umbrellas of the trees. The other issue was the right of way, and we're not working in the right of way. We're clear of the right of way. So that's basically what I have to say.
Oh, okay. But there's nothing mentioned on your variances about the right of way, though.
That's because we're clear of the right of way.
Oh, you're already clear. Okay. Yeah. Yes. And that's it, right?
Yes.
And just to the building depth is actually a existing condition, right?
The building depth, well, obviously it is. In fact, the planning department asked me about why it is so deep. And the reason why it is so deep is because of that house on the south side, which is extremely close to the to its front property line, which makes our averaging of the setbacks to the point where we couldn't even park a car in front of our house without it being on city property. So we had to move our house back so that we would be 6 meters back so that we could actually park a car on our property. And that's why the house is set back the way it is in comparison to the house on each side.
Okay.
Notice there's no length.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, that's, we will come back to you. We will hear the opposition first. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, at this time, we will unmute the owner at 31 Norwood Road.
Yeah.
Rhonda, you've been unmuted, and you may turn on your video.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee, for taking a few moments to hear. It's not really an opposition, it's more of a concern.
Okay.
The agent has actually just provided a little bit of clarification in regards to the right-of-way being maintained. I am at 31 Norwood Road, house to the east. I do share that right of way with 29 Norwood Road, and I just wanted to have some type of a guarantee that even after the new build, with the way the plans were looking, it was as though the garage that was going to be built at 29 would then be somehow encroaching into the right of way, and I wouldn't be able to access the parking that I currently have right now. It's imperative that I do be able to retain that right of way and that parking, as my husband is disabled, and that's how we are able to get him to the car. My other concern is with the back, the second floor balcony. From what I understand, it will be potentially looking into my backyard. So I'm asking if there can be some form of a privacy screen put in place.
Yeah, privacy screen. Do you know what edge you like to have the privacy screen?
It's north and south.
North and south edges, right? Okay. All right. Yeah, and yeah. Any question to this speaker?
I don't have any. As I stated, my concern about maintaining the width of the right of way for me to be able to get my my car up and down for my husband, even after the new build.
And also, I just want to say that we will take the recommendation from the planning reports to tie the proposal with the site plan, indicating that they're not doing anything to the right of way. So we can tie our decision with that drawing, okay, with the site plan. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. No more questions? Okay, let's bring back the agent. Yeah. Hello, yeah.
Oh, right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So the balcony is 15 feet away from each property line. So I think that is more than adequate in setback to the property lines. But if it has to be, it has to be. We'll put a barrier up there to cut down the visibility. But it is 15 feet away on each side.
But then your neighbor will, they ask, they're on the east side, maybe, I don't know. Well, yeah, we just put it and say maybe it will work better, give you a good relationship with your neighbors, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say I will agree to do it, but
Okay.
it's not really necessary, but I'll agree to do it, the barriers.
All right. Any question to the agent? Yeah, please.
If I may, I think the issue of privacy screens always is good for good neighborliness, but on your ground floor, you've got a deck on the south side of the building.
Right.
And that deck, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be mistaken, is it elevated?
It's 6 inches below the first floor level. So elevated 3 feet, let's say.
Would there be overlook on the one side, on the south side of that deck? Or because you've got a neighbor to the south who's on Gerard, and they've got a backyard. So I'm just wondering if you have overlook on that side as well. So perhaps privacy screening, not for the entire portion, but there's a portion.
The south run.
On the it's your deck. On the south side of the deck.
Yep. Okay, agreed.
So I think privacy screening on that side would be good as well. I also note that your driveway, it indicates brick. Now I'm not sure what you'll be using there or not, but I'd just like to put in a condition that your driveway be produced out of permeable materials, and if the brick is permeable, fine, or it provides permeability, that'll work for you, but just make sure that it's permeable.
That is a little bit more difficult because, well, first off, that will only be affecting really 1-2 trees, very slightly. Okay, so that's a big deal trying to put in a whole permeable stone driveway. Okay, but if that's what it takes, that's what we'll do. But okay.
Thank you.
Could we ask for? Okay, sorry, that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
So you you suggesting the new driveway?
The driveway, the new driveway be produced out of permeable materials.
Okay.
And then this privacy screening for ground floor deck, south side, second floor balcony or
North and
deck,
s-
and north and south sides.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, thank you. Any more question to this, to the agent? Okay, we do not have any more question to you, so we are in discussion now. We are in committee. Yeah, and I think with that, that's fine with me. What,
The only comment I might add is I do agree with the applicant with respect to the side yards. The side yard setbacks are quite substantial in this case.
Yeah.
I noticed that actually when I was looking at the building depth or the building length as well.
Mhm.
I personally, I think, you know, the application would benefit from a privacy screening on the ground floor deck, given the proximity to the one neighbor.
You think so? That's the one that I thought that is unnecessary, because if you look at,
Yeah, I'm happy to
if
hear.
you look at the photograph, they have a deck and they have stairs right next to the privacy screen you're going to put in. They have a second floor deck. I mean, the neighbor that you said that is close.
Yeah, I think, well,
And then
I'd actually
the
question
stair.
it on the upper
I
level,
do
just
not
given
know
the
think-
setback.
I do
and
not think it will do anything.
Given whether they're really gonna benefit from putting privacy screening 15 feet away, or, you know, 50, like a substantial side yard setback.
Yeah. But it's
I,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, okay.
so I don't, but, you know, it's not a thorn in my, if you wanna include the privacy screening. I question whether or not to impose that is necessary in this case.
Yeah, I'm just like you. I can do without, or if that's the thing that create a motion or approval, I would do it. I mean, so okay, Mr. Byatt, please, motion. This is a staff report.
Put me on the spot here.
The staff report is tied to the site plan and north elevation.
Yeah,
That is-
I think the issue of the privacy screening may be less of an issue on the south side. The ground floor deck and the balcony, second floor balcony on the south side, because the neighbor to the south, the property is facing the other way, so you're looking at the rear end of that property. So overlook may not be a crucial.
Yeah, that's it.
But I think
North side, north edge.
to the concern that was expressed by the neighbor on the north side, number 31, whether we think it's far enough away or not, I think it would be a good neighborly gesture to actually have that screening.
Okay, so north edge.
Despite the distance.
On the north side, not the south.
On the north side.
Only, yeah, not
Yeah,
both
so
sides.
perhaps.
Thank you for bringing that up. I
Yeah.
just recognize that condition that I missed. So
Yeah.
I would agree, yeah.
So I
Okay.
suppose this, I think that'll work.
That
So-
limit to the second floor balcony only, or you want to have the deck too?
No, the deck doesn't have to, because it's
Yeah.
right at the
Yeah,
rear
that's
of the
Yeah.
property,
Okay,
adjacent
got you.
property.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the second floor balcony, yeah, okay.
So second floor balcony, north side,
Okay,
and just that the driveway be produced out of permeable materials,
okay, the two conditions then.
just the two.
Okay, thank
And we
you.
do have, I believe, two advisories. One is.
The
uh,
warning
Metro
clause.
links, and
We can
it's
include.
transportation.
No, there's the Metrolinks, which is the warning clause, which can be
Okay.
included,
Yes,
and the community planning condition.
yes. And
Okay.
also transportation, there's a warning clause about relocating hydro and, the right-of-way construction. That- All right,
Okay.
with that, second, Mr. Addison? Yes,
Happy to second that, yep.
And all in favor with the conditions? Unanimously approved. It's approved, thank you. We have two conditions. Thank you. And that ends our morning sessions. So when should we resume?
Through you, Madam Chair, we'll resume at 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Thank
2
you.
p.m. Oh, we have 1 and 20 minutes. Okay, thank you. All right.